and a fast learning curve. Bright sunny day in Melbourne. Opening bounce. Sunday football. Bill Chambers very conscious of Jolly right there and comes across to Howlett. The first kick goes down towards half forward. Crameri came up to meet it, lays it off. Monfries goes across the ground. Nice kick. Precision. Prismal is away. Goes looking for Remus and he plucked it. Oh my goodness, what a catch. I know it's a mark, but it was a catch.
Almost was the slips catch, wasn't it? It was, can't get much more pressure from a defender than O'Brien had on him.
Gee, yes. That's a good effort. Prismal, nice kick coming in. And now Remus. This will test him. He'll kick from about 48. Kyle Remus' important kick goes from 52. It's a beautiful kick. It's a telling kick. Straight through the middle. How's that for a start? So sharp. Timmy Watson's pants after they're pressed.
Well, the best way to take any pressure off your back line is make sure the ball doesn't go in that direction. And that's a real win for Essendon in the early part of this game, just to get one out of the centre. And then to use the ball so quickly. Here's Monfries who switches the play. Great play on here from Prismal straight away. I mean, before Collingwood's back line can get settled, that's the only time you're going to find some space if you move it in there quickly. And that is just a great mark on the lead. That's one of the more difficult marks to take, that really hard one at a low drilling ball too.
Essendon have to take the punt and play the ball on quickly, don't they? That point you made, Tim. You can't be precise against the Collingwood defence. They get too well set.
Well, they were goalless on the last two Anzac Day first quarter, so that's a good start. Early goals have been really hard for the Bombers to come by over the last 11 weeks. Jolly gets it forward in his 200th. McCaffer did well. They held them off. And Swan, well, it's an underground that goes to the goal square. Miss kick surely. Carlisle working it in front. At the back, Keith did well. Swan's handball just missed the target. Watson, good to see him back. Missed four, played only 3 of the last 9. Howlett out of the back, good kick. Well, it's very early, but there's a couple of good signs. Collingwood making a blue or two, and Essendon hitting targets. Jetta now uncertain. They play a dangerous game here for the moment. Working it through, getting it back. Dyson again. Now he'll set a task. Reid leading him out there. Got a good bounce, so Reid in the back half.
To the wing. Well, Jetta out of confidence, goes across and punches it out of bounds. Struggled last week. Now, who is that man down?
Geez, that Bill Chambers, is it?
Might be Prismal.
It's Prismal. Gee, he's had trouble with his knees before, too.
Stretcher.
Yeah.
Stretcher's coming out.
They're going to the stretcher.
Remember, that's the own body weight. That's not a good sign, is it?
Do you remember the final he was playing for Geelong and he got injured in the left forward pocket of the punt road end?
Opposite end of the ground, and that was such an innocuous movement then from him. I mean, his foot just looked like it got stuck in the MCG turf. And I would think that he already knows in his own mind exactly what the extent of the injury is, having already done a knee.
I think back, Essendon actually took him coming off that knee reconstruction in an act of faith. So irony here as Prismal is about to be loaded on the stretcher, and a quick introduction perhaps for this young man. Well, it will be. Richo?
Yeah, Dan, there's no doubt, Dan, that he knew immediately that he'd done his knee. The trainer started walking out to him. He told him to go away. He was very disappointed, obviously, but he knows straight away. He's felt it before, and yeah, just shocking news for Essendon early. And
they really can't afford to lose. He's been playing well, Prismal, so he's one of the midfielders, and you really need to be able to get your best midfielders out there. You need that depth of players that can play around the ball to at least match Collingwood in that department.
And what about this ground for knees for Essendon this season? I mean, Winderlich, Dempsey.
That Carlton game, I'm not sure what round it was in, but when both those guys went off.
Yeah. In fact, Dempsey was about 15 metres away from this one.
And really, and I mean, look, you got young Ross who'll get his opportunity now to play AFL football a lot earlier than what he thought he was going to this afternoon. He looked nervous. I was watching him in the rooms as the players came back down after their warm-up, and a couple of players were just having a quiet word for him, just trying to get him to calm down as much as he possibly can before he entered the fray. So that'll change their plans a little bit this afternoon too.
Look at resignation on Prismal's face. If it's any consolation, one kick and it was a beauty. Set up the goal for Remus, but means nothing now. Back at the game then. Boundary throw in. Don't lock, says the umpire. They immediately lock. Jolly knocks it down. Over the football, Howlett could have been pushed in the back. Running out of space, Cracker hurriedly onto the boot, down towards left half forward. Out of bounds on the full. And Cracker has certainly gone off the boil.
Just thinking Collingwood's first thrust. Swan had a set shot, well, a running shot, a goal 30 metres out that he grabbed. Then an ineffective handball. That's just the one part of him not quite as good with his effectiveness.
Good mark by Jolly. McVeigh's kick coming in. So Goldsack using Buckley. Now long kick Buckley, and that is a beautiful kick to Cloak. Oh, what a great effort by Cloak, and the courage coming from Myers, who's hurt himself pretty badly. I think he's put his hands up. I think he's hurt his arm or hand, Myers. So the Bombers, maybe more woes. Down low was Ball originally. Keefe runs it over the line, and Myers quickly coming from the ground here.
Why wasn't that a free kick?
Yeah, it was front on contact. I mean, this had to be a free kick. I mean, that is just ridiculous.
He would jump in the front there.
He put his arm straight up in the air. It looks like it might be a wrist or a shoulder that he's carrying.
Boundary throw in. Swan. Johnson. Back to Swan. Bit of a fumble. Actually, it helped him out. Howlett knocks it forward. Under pressure, Stanton. Tough in there. Reamer's laid it off. Monfries brilliantly. Heppel down towards half forward. 2-on-1. The one is a big one. Well, this one, actually, number one, is a quick one, but he's pushed over by Crameri. Hard against the boundary line. Not sure that ball wasn't out of bounds. He puts it out of bounds on the full anyway. Well, crowd getting involved early.
Might well just be a dislocated finger. That's what Essendon would be hoping with him.
So they had to do a free kick then to Leon Davis too, didn't it?
Would have thought.
So Cracker. One thing about Crameri, though, he's quick.
Oh, he's very quick. He's got great endurance. He's got great speed. But if you're a little bit squirmish, look away right now because...
It's a dislocated finger.
I know blokes whose career they've ended up with fingers like that.
Yeah.
So Cracker's handball, and Blair unable to get through.
As bad as that looks like, it's nothing serious. I mean, you just got to pull it back in, you tape it up, and you'll be okay.
It's a special man who pulls them back, though, isn't it? You know, like he has to look.
He's a sadist.
That's right.
Don't want that job, eh? Johnson almost. Well, you mentioned I heard he might want to play today. He might have to.
Yeah. Look, I reckon in the early part of this game, Essendon would be reasonably happy with the way they've been able to stop the flow of Collingwood, and then they've been able to find some space on the counter-attack.
I think they'll be thrilled. They're in front. I don't think anyone expected them to.
No disposal. Did not handball.
Good
Took
start.
the tackle on, did not handball.
This kick has to go quickly.
The little things add up to something because Pendlebury Court doesn't happen too often. We talked about Swan and a couple of the other things that have happened. So the long ball in from Howlett to full forward. Really good contest. Davey and Maxwell. So boundary throw in.
See that long kick then, though. 3 Collingwood players were going to get to that contest before another Essendon player.
They work so well at defensive group. As we said with Buck said earlier, they've still stuck with Tarrant down there. Not thought about putting Keefe in.
Hill got a hand to it. Beams out of the congestion. Only as far as Dyson. He'll cut inside on that left foot. Well, he's gone off the line. That's a contentious issue as well. Finds Stanton. Stanton trying to earn 50. Nothing doing there. He'll kick from right on the 50.
So that's an intelligent, precise kick, isn't it? Just to kick the ball inside a zone. You've got the players zoning off, and just that space there between the two lines of the Collingwood defensive zone.
Stanton, not a bad kick. I'd suggest not beyond him. Tim would know best. Tim?
No, he'll get the distance.
Kicks from 51. It's on the way, and this one's swinging right to left. Minor score. Stretches the lead. Bombers up by 7. Collingwood, we've gone a few minutes now and yet to score.
Good kick to O'Brien from Davis. So Harry with a long bomb to centre wing. Jolly a target. Well done, Bell Chambers. And then Swan hacking forward. McCaffer did well. Just push the ball forward, and then Blair improvises. Heppel, who started interchange, back with Fasolo. Back to Blair, a little fumble. Swan, handball over the top was good for Solo. Back to Blair, back to Cloak on the right side for him. That's a good kick. Right to the goal square. And the youngster almost Keefe gets a second crack. The ball's still in play. And then Zaharakis got a big, oh, well done handball. It was a beautiful handball under pressure to Hardingham down the centre of the ground. A good contest here. High tackle, free kick, Collingwood.
So the first time Paddy Ryder was really involved in a contest, he was just caught in two minds. He has to attack it, even as a defensive player.
Johnson, searching kick inside the forward 50, cloak almost. Keefe hurriedly across the face of goal, stays in. Bell-Chambers tracked it, took it, swings it out wide. Reimers, a bit of a fumble. Time to go inside. Watson, great to see him back up towards the wing. Melksham on the lead. On the overlap is Howlett. Delays the hand pass. Runs himself into trouble. Hand pass into Brown. Tumbling over Maxwell. Brown gets it out to Ball. On one knee to Buckley. Always uses the ball well. Don't know why he's not at Melbourne. McCaffer gets it across to Fasolo. Fasolo bending it back. That is a magnificent kick. I've lost my voice. That is outstanding.
That is a brilliant kick, and Essendon had the opportunity again going forward, and it really was Melksham who didn't play or didn't give the right handball at the right time. He thought he was drawing the Collingwood player, wasn't able to actually find the Essendon player. And that's where they punish sides better than any other side in the competition, Collingwood, for an errant handball or a missed kick.
This ended up being an incredible angle. It looked like it was going to go out of bounds, and it just went right, hook. You would have thought there was a really strong breeze out there pulling that back into the centre, which I don't think there is. So that was a really well-timed kick, drawn kick.
So Collingwood get a good kick start. Watson gets it from Hill. Kick the ball over the top of Collier, and now Davis to Johnson. Low ball out wide. Well taken by Luke Ball. Scrubbers the kick along. Effective though, side bottom. And that ball close to out. Not quite. Dyson. Myers is back on. It's a free kick to Dyson. So Essendon.
Right there, Andrew.
Just got a tweet, by the way, Dennis, from Buckley. He says, please don't mention going back to Melbourne.
Again.
Oh, okay.
So high ball to half forward. He's quite happy where he is right now. Melsham to Davey. And then Davey back in. Good set up again. Collier long bomb in. And still directed. And a boundary throw, Richo.
There's something different today. It's been Nick Maxwell is starting on the wing. Goldsack and Johnson coming back into the team recent weeks in the back line. Just trying something different with Nick Maxwell on the wing.
Boundary throw in them, in the pocket. Comes behind the pack. Side bottom. Ricochets to Monfries under pressure. Snaps. O'Brien goes back. Ball bounces on its point. Davis tries to give it back to O'Brien. Andor conceded behind. Did the latter. Comes short to Swan. Swan over the top. Finds side bottom. So Bruce, let me get this straight. He doesn't want us handling his career anymore, Simon.
Well, he doesn't mind us handling his career, but he'd prefer not to go back to where he was.
I think that tweet was actually from Dean Bailey, Bruce. It wasn't from Simon Buckley.
It's all very well. We got him to Collingwood in the first place by booming him up. And that ball's out of bounds on the full. Carlisle to take the free, and we did it for nothing, Bruce.
Gee, he's got to take that kick inside.
You did.
Carlisle goes across the ground. Crameri still going. Hard man to tackle Crameri. This will be interesting. Tarrant's going back. If it bounces, you would think it'd favour Stanton. Tarrant did well. Stifled the bounce. Swings it across the body. 2-on-1. Keith outnumbered. Falls behind. Myers seems okay with a finger. Goes in short. Finds Crameri.
A couple of holes here. Now, this guy can kick it. We know that. And he does. Zaharakis. Gee, I like him early. I know it's really early. I like him.
He kicks at 81% on the run, Zaharakis. Not so good or efficient at a set shot, but Lee, it's really unusual to see a Collingwood side play where there is so much width in that midfield part of the ground, and Essendon have been able to find holes everywhere in the early part. I thought it was a wrong kick, the first kick that went out wide. I thought he had plenty of time, Cameron, to get back inside, but that's smart use of the ball.
They have been prepared to come in back into the centre square, haven't they? I mean, it's sort of high-risk footy, but to have any chance of beating Collingwood, you've probably got to take a few risks. It's a matter of how long it can go before those wrists get turned over.
Hill won it down decisively. Stolen though by Ball. Kicks inside the forward 50. Brown comes to meet it. Bounces away from him. Tracks it. Loops a hand pass. Tried to get it over the top. Melksham. He goes to ground. The umpire, I think, will ball it up. He will. David Zaharakis, in the best form of his young career. Wonderful goal moments ago. Averaging 21 possessions over the last 5 weeks, including 31 against the Hawks, round 14. Pendlebury to Swan, goes down towards full forward, in the air a long time. Ryder got a first on it. The recovery came from Cloak, snaps and misses.
You just get the feeling, don't you, that Collingwood are playing footy by habit at the moment. They haven't got any real heavy, high emotion into the game just yet, which I think Essendon got at the very beginning, but I think they will normally work their way into the game from maybe that slightly slow start.
So Watson the target. You did well there, Joe. He got rid of Johnson, held the mark. Lovely kick to Stanton, who's been pretty busy as well. Uses the handball wide. So Myers on his wrong side, but he kicks it beautifully to Monfries, who's up today again.
So too is Swan. He's already had 10.
So Monfries, that's a poor kick. Poor kick. Bill Chambers was the target, but he kicked it straight down Reed's throat. So Reed switches it up to Goldsack. Now Maxwell creates the loose here. Goldsack will use his captain, and he can come wider still if he likes, and he does to Beams. So Beams back in the team now. He's been out for about half a dozen weeks. Davey got close to him. Brown on the leg. Carlisle with him. Gee, I tell you what, I bet you Carlisle hopes that Lee Brown doesn't sit on his shoulders like Walker did. He'll never get up.
Yes, he'd be implanted to his knees. It's a lot of humanity jumping if it's Lee Brown. Hill straight to McCaffrey. High ball. Cloak will come from the side. Hands to it. Couldn't complete the mark. Pendlebury in front. Whips it away. Jolly. Well done, Jolly. Will sort off. Stanton got a boot on it. Monfries back to Stanton. Slips it away to Hill. Stanton. Monfries backs off. Trying to create some space. Ross is gone, the sub. Run down. Cloak was bearing down. Cloak's ball.
The last thing I heard Essendon player say to Ross was, just make sure you react a bit quicker out there today.
Cloak the long ball down towards full forward. Oh, side bottom. The man of steel runs in. Don't confuse it with Teal. That's the other end of the ladder.
Well, that's a big difference, isn't it? That step up from VFL football to AFL football. You might be able to stand there for a while at VFL level and you've got a bit of time, but they're onto you like a tree full of hours.
I was thinking
level.
so often teammates in trying to help will actually tell you you're clear as you're about to be tackled. But I think he's probably said to himself straight away, all of a sudden, gee, they get to you quick at senior level.
Well, here's Ross, and there's his first touch in AFL football. Just stood there too long, and he'll learn from that. Hopefully he can pick the pace up for Essendon's sake this afternoon reasonably quickly.
So both Collingwood goals from Essendon turnovers, having their handball mistakes. I mean, Ross should have got rid of it, but it was under the pump a bit when the handball came in. So Monfries this time to McVeigh to full forward. Almost the Bill Chambers mark. Maxwell under some pressure. Davey and Goldsack. They've got some numbers here, the Bombers. Jetta. Good tackle from Maxwell. And that ball's out of play as we go down to Richo. Richo, what's the latest on Prismal?
Yeah, well, unfortunately, it's not great. Early news out of the Essendon rooms from the doctors is that he has done his ACL, so terrible news. The crutches have just been taken down there for him. So shocking for Brent Prismal.
It is. Well played, Cracker.
Oh.
Bring it.
Well, it's what happened?
Bring it back. Whose free kick is it? Collingwood. Darren Jolly? Yeah. Darren Jolly.
It's still the most confusing rule in our game.
I'm not sure why they brought it back, because it looked like Swan just played on, didn't he?
Yeah.
So Davis with the free.
Hands him back.
So Heppels against Fasolo. So two kids, two rookies. Heppels kick. I don't think it was meant for Watson. I think more for Monfries. Watson's been terrific early. His use of the ball's been outstanding. Gets it to Hill. Hill goes bang and kicks the goal. He kept it low and straight. It was a bullet.
It's a good long kick, good strong kick. Yeah, they've got to get some goals out of Hill and Bell Chambers. They're going to be ruck playing forward, and even if it's just as the on-ball ruckman pushing in towards the half-forward line and maybe just being a link player, which Hill does extremely well.
And to Watson's impact earlier, I mean, his use of the ball's been outstanding.
And making good decisions.
They're doing well in the clearances too at the moment, the Bombers, which they'll need to be able to maintain right throughout the afternoon.
Here's the advantage.
Yeah. Well, there's the advantage. He takes the advantage.
Not sure why they brought that back.
You're going to have to do something about
maybe
that.
I don't know by the game, Tim. I'll say it again. All we do is help with the rules.
Are you helping? We all thought it was a good rule too, didn't we? Yeah. Sidebottom just hands it to Ball out of the middle. Kicks down towards full forward. Drifting back. Heppel takes the mark. Comes short. Hill, who got that last goal, is at left half back. Interesting the choice of umpires this afternoon. This is Reamers, not household names. Donald, Meredith, Mollison. Now 50.
Lee touched on it earlier, Dennis, and what Essendon are really doing at the moment is squaring up that ball well. So Collingwood would like to play around the perimeters. Essendon are just trying to get the ball and square it up as often as they can. And that's where they're finding the space. This bloke's well within his range now.
It's a bit of the 2010 Essendon game style. I mean, trying to actually bring the ball back in through the centre square, which tends to be high reward, but it's certainly high risk as well.
Reamers got the opening goal inside 30 seconds. Man on the mark, Tarrant. Creeping forward, Reamers oblivious to that. Notches another one.
What they have been able to do is been able to just early in this first part of the first quarter crack the Collingwood defence a little. I mean, Collingwood's defence is just so strong, it's so hard to score against, but Essendon have got their 4 goals from 10 inside 50 entries. If they can continue with that ratio of goals for entries, they will kick a good score.
And Lee, they've been in really high percentage positions too, where they've found themselves kicking for goal.
All 4 goals outside 50. I mean, we just got that from Champion Day.
So long goals.
Yeah. But in the corridor, most of them have been in the corridor, so they've been high percentage positions. And that bloke worried all week that he wouldn't be in the side, and he started well.
Champion Day, of course, being Josh. I just had to change the name for the moment. But yeah, all 4 goals from long range, obviously. And Reamers 2 of them. Ball's had a couple of good clearances. And then Blair to half forward. Gee, Hardingham did well. Has to keep his feet now. Side bottom. Carlisle runs into Keefe, back to side bottom, played it beautifully. Ball up and about early. Buckley, that's a floater to centre half forward. Melsham did well, kept his eyes on it, controlled it long enough out wide. Hill's had a very good opening term. That kick along the line, that's okay. Reamers has been very good with his 2 goals, and Essendon are the surprising leaders here.
Yeah, that point you make of that kicking 4 goals from outside 50. I've always believed long shots end up being a lot of long behind. So you're not going to kick anywhere near a high percentage of goals from outside 50.
Hill works in front. Jolly may have got it from behind. Falls anyway to Beams. Hooks it across the body. Directly onto the chest of Hardingham, who wants to go. Carlisle into space. Grabs it at centre half back. Collier's on his bike, working towards the outer side. Collier and O'Brien. O'Brien a fumble. It hasn't been his best year, O'Brien. Collier stood up, immediately was knocked out by Jolly. After it goes Davis. He's mugged as well. Cramry put the body in. Jetters over the football, tries to give it to Myers. Well done, Davis. O'Brien mops up, gave it to Brown. Bounces obligingly for Cracker. Beat a couple, beat 3. Terrific. Comes back to Harrio. On the wing, goes down towards left half forward. Beams has got it. Buckley is on for the short one. Around the outer side, I think it was Pendlebury. And he's kicked. A goal.
I reckon they've done another knee, the Bombers. Collier, although actually they're looking at his ankle, his right ankle. So he was writhing in pain while all that passage of play was unfolding. Then he didn't move. He signalled to the trainers straight away to get out to him, and that doesn't look good for the Bombers. Already they've lost a player today in Prismal, so they've already been able, or they've had to activate their sub. This is how it happened. So his ankle gets caught. Oh
dear.
was a great finish. I mean, Collier's injury, but Collingwood for Solo and Pendlebury have kicked 2 spectacular goals, haven't they?
Just look at that injury again. Here's Collier on the ground, tackled by O'Brien, gets his leg caught right underneath him, and that's a nasty one. That's not a break. That would be more likely that the ligaments have been ripped to shreds.
Well, that Carlton game, it was Wyndham and Dempsey both in the opening quarter in round 4, both from the ground and for the season. Now Prismal's gone, so Collier without
2 midfielders effectively they've lost 2. Yeah. So I mean that's really going to put some strain on their other players.
So bad blow here for the Bombers in the opening term.
The 4 long goals for Essendon, but two terrific angle goals from Collingwood.
So as Collier goes from the ground back at the match, Collingwood get it back to a 7-point game. It's been a fantastic opening term, but gee, a big blow for the Bombers. You'd think Hardigan, they played so well early, Essendon. They've been finding their targets. Carlisle, well, handball mistakes, have made a couple of those, and there's another. Pendlebury gets it across to Keith, to Beams. Clever mark. Mark or free. Take a pick.
Well, 2 poor handballs have let Collingwood in the first quarter. The one they scored a goal from, and now they've got another goal-scoring opportunity from a bloke who's not that good from a set shot, though, Beams.
It's the problem if you try to attack out of your back 50 through the centre square and you turn the ball over. It's almost tends to be automatic goal against.
It's a difficult handball, that one. You try and get over the top of the player too.
So the Bombers coaching staff, so much to think about in this opening term. They've had to use their sub, a debutant. They've got another man who looks like he won't be playing any part. And then Beams has got it.
He's 33% from a set shot, Dane Beams. We know that he's a goal-kicking midfield type player, but that's the problem. I mean, in modern day football, you move up the ground into an attacking position. You're on the run. You're breaking from half back. They actually had some space and some width to work with then, Essendon, and it was just the wrong decision to try and go over the top with the handball. Here it is. He's been instructed probably before the game, Howard, that they're going to try and move the ball as quickly as they can because they don't want Collingwood's back line and their back half to get settled. And I reckon as a coach today, James Hird is going to have to wear those sorts of mistakes.
Well, that's their plan. The problem is, will the players persist with it? I mean, you have a couple of turnovers, all of a sudden you get gun shy of actually taking those half chances.
Action at the station. Jolly waiting to come back on. Brown, meantime, does okay. Knocks it down towards Fasolo. Lays it off to Cracker. Collingwood could lead at quarter time the way they're moving. Back-to-back goals. Ryder picked it up nicely. Hardingham, Heppel over the shoulder. Ryder stood tall, needed to. Ball gave it out to Beams hurriedly. The mark is taken by Watson. Watson goes across the ground. They're on here. This could result in a goal. Melcham has one bounce. Carries it down towards half forward. Looks up now. Hill lets it run on. Couple of bounces. Oh. And the footy barracks for Collingwood right there. The Sherrin playing favourites. And pushed across the line by Reid.
Wants to be in the majority, Dennis, eh?
Yep.
That again is a great break off half back by the Bombers. They've really been able to open up Collingwood. And you don't often see that when Collingwood play. And I don't reckon Mickey Malthouse is going to be particularly happy with that at quarter time.
Gee, that's a slack kick coming out of the back. Came from side bottom. So Ross with a couple of better touches there. McVeigh. Oh, good kick to Cranberry. And their field kicking, I mean, Watson's led the way with their field kicking so far in the opening term. Their field kicking's been good.
Well, they're not going to kick the ball in long and high. That's plan B, isn't it? Plan A is to try and get it to the forward that's moving into the space towards the kicker.
Collingwood has not conceded 5 goals in the first quarter at any stage this season. Cranberry close to the man on the mark, and the Bombers have got 5 first quarter goals.
It's even that Collingwood defence that's so well organised. When you make a mistake on the way out and sort of give the ball back to the opposition when you look like you're in control, then all of a sudden the defenders haven't got opponent control, and quick rebound is really hard to defend.
And when McVeigh looked up there and he actually had Jobe Watson, who was short, he could have gone to him 25 metres away, and he elected to go deeper where he still found some space. Cranberry's been a real surprise packet this year. Their #1 goal scorer. Yeah, no, he's been very good. He's quick and he's strong and he pushes hard to the ball. He's kicked 30 now this season.
Moments ago saw Michael Malthouse on the boundary coaching his 54th game against Essendon. Here's Watson, gets it away. Dyson goes inside the forward 50. It'll bounce awkwardly for all and sundry. Will not Jetta onto the loose ball, bounces one through. They get some justice. They got the roll that time.
It's interesting, just as that goal was kicked, all of a sudden the Collingwood defenders, they're just sort of looking around a little bit, saying, well, they've kicked 6 goals against us. And all of a sudden there's this, the matchups have changed a little bit. They've got O'Brien over onto Crameri. They're just a little bit out of sorts, that Collingwood back 6. There's been a bit more pressure on them in this first quarter than has been happening recently.
Lee's at my match, the ball seems to be carrying a long way today. I don't know. I mean,
well,
even that kick out of the centre.
Clear atmosphere, clear sky. The ball is certainly floating through the air.
They've been okay from the centre breaks, and there you see the forward line set up. That's the best time to attack Collingwood's back line, right from a stoppage here where they can't get back in numbers to support.
Well, it's been a spectacular opening. Collingwood have got 3 of their 4 goals from turnovers, so Essendon have contributed a bit to Collingwood's score. So Myers, and again they're finding targets. Remus, who's kicked 2 long goals. Out wide to Myers. He's a left footer, so he's in a good side for him. And again, a really long kick into the goal square. It'll go through. Oh, what a quarter. They're kicking them from everywhere.
Well, they're kicking them from everywhere. They've kicked 7, and 6 of them have been from outside 50. And at least 5 or 6. They're certainly bombing the goal front. Well, if you can get them over the top of those marking players on the front of the goal square,
if you were Malcolm Blight, you'd have a theory about this ball, I am sure. I better to ask Tim about Malcolm Blight. He knows him well.
Well, it didn't. The last one didn't bounce straight for Essendon.
No,
but
it didn't.
Mostly the bounce of the ball has been pretty good for the Bombers down there.
Myers was almost on the wing when he actually kicked that ball. Now, they've won the last 2 centre bounce clearances, Essendon, so Collingwood are really good at being able to shut you down after a couple that you've won. They'll go more defensive at this stoppage, Collingwood.
45 plays 25. Knocked down by Bill Chambers. Slung was Watson. Gathered by Beams. Sends it high towards the wing. Getting back. Good mark taken there by Hardingham. Very strong overhead. Looks across the ground. Quick release. Stanton has it now. Encouraged to run. One bounce. Up to the wing. Takes something off the kick. Jetta wanted it to sit. Now he's got a problem. Ran back into the backwash, if you like. It was all Collingwood. Away comes Davis. Penetrating kick close to the boundary line. It goes out. And we'll have a throw-in. So reminiscent so far of that game on Anzac Day when Hill went down early and they defied the odds. And Essendon won late.
Good to have the skipper back for those centre bounce. I reckon Watson has actually got his hands on the ball almost the last 5 centre clearances.
So Jolly in the front. That's a good tap down to Pendlebury. Swan, who started really well quite the last few minutes. Beams gets a good hook on that. Cloak in the goal square. That's always dangerous. Carlisle, well, he has to get it out, and he does. And then Myers kept his head, and that one ricochets back. They've got to get it, Essendon. It'll be a goal. They touched it through.
This is the area of the game that Stanton has to improve on. So he's got plenty of time, plenty of space, and then he just makes the wrong choice. I mean, that's a really hard kick to actually execute that one.
Brown in best position. Knocks it down in front. Was that in the back? It appeared to be. Ball at the base of it over the top.
It's not in the back.
She's unlucky. He got to that ball first. That should have been a free kick. In fact, I reckon they've been a bit unlucky in this first quarter, Collingwood.
So the veteran McVeigh across half back. What a quarter for the Bombers. Sends the high ball towards the wing. Crameri comes hard, juggles the mark. Still over a minute to go in the term. Crameri told to play on right at the interchange gates. Good time for an interchange. Crameri runs along the boundary. His plant foot slipped as he kicked it. Again, the deep ball causes Collingwood a few concerns. O'Brien is back, flings it across to Jolly. He was dispossessed. Now Davey tries to snap. Having the ball's not his forte, but it goes to Monfries, and Monfries puts it through.
That old, harder you work, the luckier you get applies, but there is a bit of good fortune when you've got an oval ball, isn't there? Sometimes the ball will bounce for you, sometimes it won't. Essendon are making the game work for them, but the bounce of the ball is certainly helping them a little also.
And Lee, I still reckon they're getting so much penetration, Essendon, because they're actually able to find that space in the midsection of the ground.
Yeah.
So therefore their entries aren't shallow. They're actually quite deep, putting real pressure on their back line.
I mean, Lee, this is the area. You don't see Collingwood's defence under quite the pressure we're seeing them today.
Well, Essendon got good numbers in there, didn't they? All of a sudden, there was more Essendon jumpers on that contest out in front of their goal front.
Well, Collingwood has not had 8 goals against them in an opening term for 6 seasons. You've got to go back to 05. This has been a remarkable game. It's been a remarkable weekend, to be honest. But this could turn the season on its head if they can keep going. It's a long, long, long way to go, and they're big outsiders still. So they run into one another, Collingwood, for a moment. O'Brien, the champs are being tested. Buckley, Swan. Well, he's a good kick normally. And that one bounced the wrong way, but he didn't actually get it right, did he, Swanee? It was a float.
That one was a kick from the 50-metre line. But remember, early in the game, from 30 metres out, he grabbed a kick that was just a simple shot at goal. He's not timing the ball really well, and he's kicking just at the moment.
That first kick was amazing, wasn't it? Just wrong clubbed it. He went with the putter. As this ball comes short of the wing, Bell Chambers stretches up, takes the mark. Well, I thought he did. Pendlebury plays on to Buckley. Very happy at Collingwood, Buckley. They're happy. Oh, I was going to say they're happy with him. Well, they are anyway, but he misses. That one on target, then went left to right over the last 5 metres. James Hird down on the boundary, having a word with his captain, Jake Melksham, just listening on, eavesdropping. Could learn a lot in that situation.
So Essendon are going to lead by 4 goals, basically a quarter time, in one of the most remarkable opening terms, certainly of this season. Who would have thought this? 6 years since the Bombers or anyone has kicked 8 goals against Collingwood in a quarter, and it's the 224th time these two teams have met, and it's only the 2nd time Essendon have kicked 8 goals in a term. The other one was Friday the 13th, but this is stranger than that.
To be okay, the club physio just wrapping a bit of tape around that.
Dane Swan, 13 disposals. There's Hardingham. So huge crowd in, and I think everyone has been.
Free kick Essendon. Joe Watson being held by the arm. Joe Watson being held by the arm.
A couple of good mates to get the ball, and Watson there. I think everybody in this ground is stunned at the moment. And Watson's first quarter was spectacular. He's had 12 disposals in his comeback game, and he has not wasted one of them. In fact, he has really hurt Collingwood today. Melsham, who's made one bad error so far today. That one he'll get away with. Buckley runs it over the line.
Good disposal efficiency there, 78% lead to 63. I mean, you'd think if they kept that up throughout the course of the afternoon, they'll beat Collingwood, but that's unlikely against a side that applies so much defensive pressure.
Bill Chambers to Stanton, bounce of the ball. Tarrant overran it. Reamer's quick kick on. Hill and Reid. Reid stretching. Hill Jetta. He's got another one. They've got 9.
Just a bit of forward footy as well. I was imaging that centre bounce free kick. I would have thought there's no doubt at quarter time the Collingwood midfield group would have said we've got to stop Watson getting first hands on the footy. So there will be plenty of attention on his body around the contest so that he can't get access to the ball. So every now and again a free kick might come his way, being through that over attention.
What they've been able to do is isolate that back line. I mean, again, they've moved the ball from a stoppage, Essendon. I mean, Tarrant did the right thing, attacking the ball, and just a quick kick.
And bounce over the head of Tarrant too.
That's right, and then Reid just unable to grab hold of the ball. But, you know, they haven't had the numbers back there, Collingwood, to help each other. Essendon been moving the ball so quickly.
So Leroy Jetta has 2 goals, only 10 possessions last week. Trying to get out of the middle, Pendlebury. Ball, Swan upended. The kick goes inside the forward 50. Cloak in a pack, had it punched away. Myers surrounded, hand passes forward. Heppel back to Myers, well worked under pressure. Myers sends a kick quickly towards the boundary, and it's taken across by Zaharakis. Well, they're up this afternoon, no doubt about that, the Bombers. Long way to go. It'll be interesting to see the odds right now. I'm sure bookmakers around the country will not have written Collingwood off. Stanton, face of the pack, kicks it up towards the wing, bounces on, taken by Tarrant, got a kind bounce that time to Maxwell. Haven't called his name too often, towards the wing. Down goes Jolly. Jolly tries to slap it out. Ross stood up in a tackle. That will be in the back. No, play goes on. Monfils falling to the ground. Well, being honest may have cost him there. Why he owned up to staging, I never know. And I reckon the umpire just remembered that.
So Blair gets maybe a fortunate free kick. Dennis, I did notice at quarter time they put some odds up. They're $1.30 Collingwood, so they're still heavy favourites. So the kick, the boundary throw in.
Makes sense.
Dane Swan, 13 disposals in the opening term, just with ball there. But they weren't all good 13 disposals, were they? He just kicked a couple.
Queued a few, yeah. Weight of numbers still at the moment.
So Zaharakis and ball, heavy tackle there. Both Maxwell and Monfils running into one another. Ball comes out, side bottom. Couldn't quite. McVeigh did well. He hacked it forward. Maxwell hacks it back. And then McCaffrey's give to side bottom to Swan. And then Swan milked a bit of time. Ryder takes a chance. He's got to get up now. Cloak will be dangerous. Oh, well, that's not dangerous. To Ross, to Watson, to Zaharakis. Back to Howlett. And then Howlett down the line. Cranberry free kick. He's strong, isn't he?
He is, and I reckon Ryder, he's troubling Cloak because he's so athletic, and Cloak is starting to be a little bit concerned about the fact that he's got that leap and that reach and stretch, and it's just an unusual opponent that he's found himself against.
At least he knows body to body. Ryder's got the height and the reach.
Cranberry sends a high ball down towards the attacking 50. Brown from the back, double fister. Spills wide. Howlett onto the loose ball. Met solidly by Brown. Pendlebury. Maxwell. McCaffrey. Now Johnson is running through midfield. Pendlebury just in cruise mode. Sends it long down towards full forward. Ryder gets back. Maybe they found his home. Short one. Carlisle against the right opponent. Ryder is really going well back there. Hardingham kicks beyond the wing with precision. Melksham had two Collingwood players within 10 metres. Neither had a play on the ball. So Melksham.
Gee, if he had more confidence in his kick, he would have taken the one inside.
High ball. Big leap down there. It's going to be a push in the back. Is it to Reema's? Advantage is taken by Hill. And he's kicked it across the face of goal and out of bounds. How often do we talk about that? A free kick inside the 50. Almost should be a team rule.
Yeah,
nobody plays on.
I reckon he had a chance to think about it too, Hill. I mean, your opponent's going to get it, your teammate's going to get a free kick 30 metres out.
Here's Davis. All the time in the world.
Takes that time, Dennis, and kicks down the line to Brown. Just spilled out. Richo, you're just on the match-up with Ryder. Cloak, how have you seen it so far?
Yeah, you just can't work Ryder over enough at the moment because Collingwood just can't control possession with uncontested marks around the wing that they normally do. The other thing, Ryder's playing him like a forward. He's leading him to the ball. He's not a normal defender, and it's just a great matchup at the moment.
For Solo, he might be gone here. No ball up.
And their other player, Myers, is actually doing a really good job on Brown. He's a lot shorter than Brown, but he's got more athleticism than Brown. And then as soon as Essendon look to turn the ball over, he's actually running into an attacking position. Plenty of space there in front of Cloak.
So Heppel was the third man up. First tackle by Beam's a good one, and I think that'll be a ball up again. So Essendon lead by 5 goals here. The average score against Collingwood this season is 67 points. That's for the whole game. Essendon sit on 57 early in this second quarter. So when Richo says haven't seen them open up like this, that's statistical evidence. Watson again a clearance. Hill and Goldsack. Goldsack leads him. Hill worried him a bit. Reema's worked it well. Gets the ball out. Well played Johnson to take Monfils. Zaharakis. Davey left foot. Just missing. They haven't missed too many.
The other thing Essendon are doing at the stoppage is they're getting as many numbers as they possibly can. So there's going to be a lot of space once you break from that part of the ground, but they're trying to outnumber Collingwood as often as they possibly can and trying to shut them down there because they're so concerned about their ability to spread.
Gee, they're good numbers.
Chris Tarrant very tentative around that last ball. Nice kick comes in. Brown takes the mark.
Thanks, David.
Is it left half back? Buckley. No pressure on Buckley yet. Goes down towards Cloak. Ryder and Cloak again. Ryder gets the arm in. Knocks it down of bounds. Well played.
Dennis, just see the way that he reached for the body then, Cloak. He actually was worried about the fact that Ryder was going to come over the top. That's a good sign if Collier can come back on play and play.
Margin 30 points. Jolly slaps it down on his knees, doing nicely there. Maxwell got it out to Pendlebury, sends it down towards half forward. Now it spills inside the 50 for Solo, gives it to Ball. Open goal square. They need a lucky bounce, and they get one.
And that's where they're really good, Collingwood. The #1 scoring side from stoppages inside their forward half. They've got the power there, and that's what I was talking about before, about getting the numbers there so you can stop the ball moving and at least just tie it up, get some extra numbers there and power away inside. You see Swan, who's one of the better players in the competition, working around stoppage.
He went off as the ball went into Collingwood's forward line. He's been off for about 30 seconds, I reckon. They had the extra player back in there, Essendon, off that stoppage, but just the overlap and the run forward from the Collingwood defence. And that time the ball decided to break for Collingwood.
So back to 24 points. Lee Montagna talked about Ball and his goal kicking this year. That's 14 for the season.
David Zaharakis, free kick. Zaharakis, free kick. Yep. Yes,
Essendon don't look like they've actually gone with a hard tag on Swan at all. It looks like they're just letting him run.
So Zaharakis to McVeigh, and McVeigh, Bill Chambers, so I don't know if he was shoved out, but he came out. He's a big guy just to come out. So Tarrant to Blair. Let's see if Collingwood can put a real sequence together here from the back half. Side bottom. Kick to goal in the opening turn from the goal square after a beautiful kick in from Cloak. Now, does he switch it up here or come down the line? Down the line, basically. Cloak a target. Well done, Carla. Cracker read it well. And then goes, well, he gets around him and then goes with a lovely looking kick. That's a terrific finish.
Oh, I'm sure we'll probably have another look at that, but the ability for Andrew Cracker to crumb, to get in the right spot, to time it right, seem to get at the fall of the ball off the marking player's hands at a bit of speed and carry the ball forward. Guys, it's one of those rare events you don't see on a footy field all that often. I reckon Cracker's done about 90% of the ones I've seen this season.
He almost kicks a nomination for goal of the year every week. Well, you'd have to have great eyes to actually see him then. He moved that quickly through the stop or through the crumb.
Yeah, Kyle Hardingham, he is really struggling with his left thigh. They worked on him at quarter time, but he's limping badly. This is going to take its toll on the Bombers, unfortunately.
Hill's got the football, needs to make an effort. He's a bit lucky there. Not sure you can just put your hands out. Apparently you can. By Donald, bounces down. Brown only as far as Jeddah. Kicks down towards half forward. Battle of strength. Cranberry's a hard man to beat. He fended off O'Brien there. Still Cranberry going. Pendlebury, how did he get out of there? Wonderful. Johnson, just get the feeling Collingwood's pride has been pricked and they're responding. Kick came beyond Cloak initially. It came from Beams. Great Shepherd Brown. Cloak is still going. Well, it was worth a kick. They're going to stop play, and that's not bad.
They've really picked up their work rate, Collingwood. Look at the tackles now, 22 overall to 23, and in this quarter, 13 to 4. So Mick's given them a rev at quarter time, and they've responded.
Hill does well. Dyson no way through. Nicely worked. It comes to Stanton. Ricochets back to the man on the ground who gave it out. That's young Ross.
Put your knees back, mate.
From the back. He was already down there, but knee in the back and now abuse. 50. And Brown needs to gallop back, or somebody else has got to pick up the mark. Johnson has to peel off. He would have been an extra man in defence. Now he's got the mark. There goes the kick from Ross. So it seems all one-on-ones down there. All close to the boundary line. It's out. We'll have a throw in.
So Ross, first bloke that tackles him is Cloak. First free kick he gets is from Brown in the back. He's had a couple of monsters get hold of him early.
Slack by Brown. Has to run back and get the mark.
That was a great point, Dennis. Collingwood haven't been able to create a Lucy in the back half, have they?
No, we'll have to keep an eye on those interchanges too, because we now know Essendon have got two players, or one that we know is done for the day. There's Hardingham again, just limping there, so he's out there under real duress too.
And they haven't kicked a goal for 12 minutes, Essendon. I mean, they're still sitting on a 3-goal lead, but the lead's been pegged back from 5 to 3. Melsham's toe poke didn't go anywhere. Johnson from Fasolo. Ryder, well done. Well, should have taken the mark, though. Cloak, free kick.
Again, Cloak went searching for his body in the one-on-one duel.
He got a gift in the end, Cloak. I mean, the free was there, but Ryder should have had the mark. Myers, McVeigh inside bottom, and that handball missing everything, and a boundary throw in. But Collingwood imposing themselves now. I think Dennis mentioned about 5 minutes ago, you could sort of feel it coming, and now it's almost transmitting to the scoreboard.
Hill in front, Brown content with back spot, flicks it down behind for Solo across the body. He's a sharpshooter for Solo. The young man from East Fremantle gets his second.
The number one in the competition, the Magpies, for kicking goals from clearances, from stoppage. They organise themselves really well there, and in general play, and I think the tackle count probably told part of the story, but in general play, they're just starting to look like they're outnumbering and outmuscling the Bombers around the contest.
They just have so many of those small forwards, don't they? Fasolo, Blair, could be Cracker, that just are able to just be really lively when the ball just runs into a little bit of space outside those forward stoppages.
So Fasolo with 2. Flat on his back a moment ago. Pendlebury. Well done, Stanton. Ball was terrific. He just threw himself over it. Should have got a free, but Heppel snatched it off him. Good stuff. What do you got for us, Richo?
Just more in that Ryder-Cloak matchup. He doesn't have a defender's mentality, Paddy Ryder. He's actually going for his marks and not just trying to spoil. And at his best, that's what Brian Lake and Scarlett used to do. So that's a great start to his defensive career, Ryder.
Cracker. Quick kick out. McCaffer. Did well, McCaffer, but then the handball gets a free in the back.
So there was 2 Collingwood players that got to that contest before an Essendon player.
And now Blair running hard and goes off and misses. That was a big miss. Lee, what do? You feel like the damn wall's just breaking here, don't you?
Well, I mean, it's all about the contested possessions and the clearances. Essendon have scored really well from forward entries, and it's hard to maintain that for the whole game. But they just need to be getting first hands on the ball at the stoppages. That's the bottom line.
G. Myers, long kick coming out. Pendlebury up, couldn't complete the mark. It falls in front. That's Howard, I think. Claimed immediately. Ball up.
Joe Watson coming into this game only played something like 3 games of the last 11, so they would have been hoping to nurse him through the afternoon. Now, with 2 injuries, he's going to end up being forced to play more game time than what they anticipated too. So they've got some concerns on the bench.
Jolly pushed in the back. Game number 200. Success follows him around. He's about 70 metres out, just lays it off. Davis looks inside the forward 50. Honours the lead from Swan, and Swan takes the mark. Now, he must remember, give it some elevation if he goes at goal. Well, he centres it. Cracker. And suddenly, they're ripping Essendon apart.
Yes, it's the way Collingwood, we're used to Collingwood play. They're pretty much dominating possession, and the ball's being played now. For this, the game's been played for the last 5 or 10 minutes of their forward half. It becomes a little bit of a weight of numbers now for Essendon to defend against a lot of potential goal scorers for Collingwood.
So Cracker, 1 goal in this term, gets his second. They creep ever closer, less than a goal.
The other thing they did then too, using Swan, and Bruce mentioned this in the first quarter about how conscious they've been of Cloak. They actually decided to swing the ball wide, and that's going to keep the Essendon defence really honest as we see the bench, and that's a really sorry sight for Essendon fans. Prismal, he's done for the day, done his ACL, his left knee. He's already been through a knee reconstruction when he was at Geelong prior to coming across to Essendon, and there's Travis Collier next to him, who we believe is done for the day too with an ankle.
Last 10 minutes, 25 disposals, Collingwood 7 Essendon. They just can't get their hands on
the footy now.
So Collier probably not going to come back. Certainly Prismal gone for the season. Gee, Bill Chambers went up very high very early. Watson to get a handle on it. Breaks through. Hamble ineffective. Essendon just need a good clearance. Melsham's high kick. Davis, a well-done goal sack.
So you're going to halve those.
Just found it hard to have a regular spot goal sack. He came back at a good time last year in the second grand final.
I think he'd be playing in just about any other team in the competition, goal sack regular.
So Swan, that's a careful old kick, and Lee Brown belts it over the line. Clever in the end because Essendon had the numbers.
Just talking about halving that competition, though, that's the one where you actually have to make sure that it's not a Collingwood mark. At least the ball comes to ground and you get an opportunity to mop it up from there.
Margin was 23 at quarter time, and from memory, they got the first goal of the second term, the Bombers. All downhill since then. Swan. It ricochets out towards the wing. Blair, did it come off his shin? It did. It's out of bounds on the foot. Young Ross in the action very early. Prismal gone for the season. Happened in the first 4 or 5 minutes. There's Myers. Goes with the right boot and does well. Hardingham running through midfield. Has had the obligatory bounce. Goes down towards half forward. Well, it's going to be a free kick, I think, to Davis.
That's incorrect.
Yeah.
No, I think it's to Jeddah.
No,
The free's to Jeddah.
It's got to be to Jeddah.
Yeah. Unrealistic, yeah.
What?
I thought he was going to pay it to Leon
as
Davis as a ship, but it was a tunnel or
well,
something.
it was sort of was partly a block, but I think the in the back took precedence.
We've seen those paid the other way, haven't we?
Often.
You're entitled to protect the drop of the ball, though.
Well, some days you're not. Centering kick mark is taken by Bill Chambers.
Today you are.
You can't believe that. Still in, it's looking up.
And I think Jolly's actually back in the centre square. I think he's motioning a little bit, but when your ruck opponent, when the other 200-centimetre player pushes into the forward 50, his opponent, particularly to stop play like that, has to be looking to get hold of him.
So Bill Chambers kicks and kicks through it. They needed that one.
I think part of Essendon's plan today has to be to work over Jolly. He's had an interrupted season. We know that he's a great player for Collingwood, but they've got two ruckmen that have played most of the season out there today, Essendon in Hill and also Bell Chambers. Both of them are athletic, whereas Collingwood are going to use the other part-time ruckman in Lee Brown to give Jolly a chomp out.
Has to be an area where they get a bit of pluses, aren't they, out of the two conventional ruckman V1.
So let's work it out again. I think as Freddie Mercury said, another one bites the dust. Down he goes. Crash.
I actually would have played,
just
let it go. Play on.
If you had the second look.
So 10-goal half here for Essendon. Collingwood not far behind them with 8. Ball out of the centre. Myers has been extremely good. Had the finger put back in, and on the right foot again, a lovely kick. He's done that a couple of times.
Well, that's the win for Essendon at the moment. They're able to play an undersized player on Lee Brown, who's more athletic and able to give them a little bit of run.
Move it on, play on.
So Monfries. Well, that's a careful kick. Jarakis was terrific there. He is quick off the mark. Hamble not so good. Ball important. Beams to Blair. Back to Keefe. Back to Bull, having a big first half, and then Johnson had to cough it up. Carlisle, Monfries will want to be quick, and then Johnson got it off him. McCaffrey off a step. This will be interesting. Cloak, he bodied him, but he couldn't take the mark. Ryder wants the boundary. Cloak manhandles him, and then kicks it out for him. Gee, that was a fascinating contest, wasn't it?
I don't think there's a side in the competition that plays better in the phone box than what Collingwood do.
Those
in a confined space.
Quick hands down there.
They've got amazing capacity to keep handballing the ball and getting numbers there until they find somebody free.
So Myers out of defence. Again, long kick. Jolly and Bell Chambers fisted forward. Whew. Ball on the wing. Who was that he went down behind play?
Oh, sorry.
Stanton, it might have been. He copped a good one. Meantime, back at the game. The umpire will ball it up. No, it's a high tackle. Stanton seems to be okay. And the ball will go to Howlett. There's a fight about 15 metres away, so pardon me if I seem distracted. Crameri and O'Brien now. Maxwell's got it. Kicks towards half forward. Cloak confronted there. Fends off high. Ryder will get the ball. No doubting that one.
Fend off. High fend off.
Just not working for Travis. Hasn't taken a mark yet, so it's been a
high fend off into his throat.
Been a good contest for Ryder to this point of the game.
Goes in short. Hardingham.
It was a good call by Hurdy. I guess you could say it's a no-brainer now with Ryder, but it was a good call. Melsham to centre wing.
I've seen him play centre back on Jonathan Brown earlier on in his career, actually. So he has played a little bit of defence when he first came in.
Gee, Melsham's kick is going to be a hard ball to mark. Well, no, it's not easy as anything. Bill Chambers, Heppel, a left footer, kicks to the front of the square. Oh, good mark taken by Tarrant. And Remus did the right thing. He could easily have given 50 away there, Remus, and he didn't. Davis, that's an interesting kick for Keith, but he did it well. Well, that's a mark.
Wasn't a great kick from Heppel, though, because he was undersized, Remus, and he actually sat it on top of his head. It had to be that space, that fat side space for him to run into.
Who's going to be in front at half-time, do you reckon? I mean, right now, or a minute ago, 2 minutes ago, you would have thought Collingwood, but at the moment, Essendon are hanging on, and symbolically, I reckon it's really important for the Bombers to have their nose in front of the break.
Howlett, good mark on the outer side, comes back all the way to Stanton. Stanton inside his defensive 50, corralled by his opposite number 5, Maxwell, but just gives it to Ryder. So just for the moment, trying to take some of the sting out of this. Back to Stanton. Stanton, about 30 metres out from his own defensive goal, his side up by 11 points. That's a nice kick.
Almost sitting back then inviting pressure, weren't they?
Myers, McVeigh takes something off it. Reed, hands to it, couldn't hang on. Awkward bounce there for Tarrant. Swooping on the ball, doing very nicely was Goldsack. O'Brien not so good. Opportunity for side bottom. Stolen away by Davey to Howlett. Howlett goes down towards the pocket and Hill tracks it back towards the behind post. Well done by Pendlebury. Timely hand in there to knock it back across the line.
Did well, didn't he? So Goldsack quickly. And then they pierce it again to Davis. So constructive, Davis, in the back half. Johnson, very good in his return game last week. That's a good mark by Jolly. It was a floater. Pendlebury to use it, and he does perfectly to Swan.
It's good width, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Carlisle just couldn't get a fingertip to it. So Swan floats it forward. Heppel, good fly. Good contest, actually. Well done for Solo. And then Keith, Ryder, well played. He's got some skill, we know that. And then McVeigh got it from Ross to Zaharakis. Can they run on here? They do. Ross has got Davey. Now Davey should go and really go here. 55 out, low, long, straight, a goal. Brilliant.
They've been good on the rebound off that half-back line, haven't they, Essendon? Lachlan Keith's not having a great day down there. He's playing as that third tall in the Collingwood forward line. Hasn't been able to get a whole lot of the footy, and it was that turnover handball that really gave the ball back to Essendon, and then they were able to stream down the centre corridor.
Well, Lee, they really haven't had much at all from their three tools. I mean, Cloak's been pretty quiet, Brown's been quiet.
Yeah.
No, Keith hasn't given them much either. Well, that's as good a rebound as you're going to see, using the ball, just staying inside the corridor here, just outside ever so slightly, then just keeping inside that part of the ground. And this is a great finish after a run.
Margin 18 points, back at the game. Pendlebury only as far as Hill. Well done, Beams. Went looking for ball. Could have been held without it. Watson did brilliantly. Hill on his knees. Spills out to Swan. Great tackle, Ross. Clever by ball. The Solo's through. Kicks a quick reply. His third. The young man in the Dacos number is playing like him.
Great play then from Luke Ball, because he actually contested the ball on the ground, and then he was quick enough to get back to the next contest, and then they had the overlap of players there. And that's what they do so good, or so well, Collingwood, is their capacity to move the ball from a stoppage and then get into some get into some trouble, then find the numbers, and then be able to work their way through the maze of players and then finish off. Luke Ball, I think, has taken his footy to another level again this year.
Ball's had 5 tackles in this quarter, as well as 13 disposals for the match. So
it's that forward footy out of the centre square there. If you can just get the ball running forward, keep it running forward in that part of the game, percentages usually work for you.
It's going to be a hard team to get into, Collingwood. I reckon Fasolo's helped himself today.
Who? Scott No advantage from a centre square. Who is it? Who's free kick? Pendlebury. Scott Pendlebury. Free kick. No advantage from the centre bounce. Yep. Okay, time back on.
Total confusion here for the players.
Yep. So Pendlebury has it after Collingwood was streaming forward, and now he belts it forward. Cloak and Ryder again. Carlisle, McCaffrey and Cracker were waiting. Stanton's got his head over the ball. He came shoving out. Blair can't quite. Heppel did. McVeigh with a long left foot. Zaharakis in the box seat. Can't quite get to. Essendon players committed. Collingwood stood up. Buckley helped with a good shepherd. Streams the ball out wide. Swan, lovely looking kick. Cracker half volley. Should have handballed. That was selfish. Probably the wrong terminology. Maybe just made the poor decision. And then Tarrant at half back or centre wing. But he had someone pass Cracker and didn't use him, so Tarrant on the wing.
That was a poor decision, though, too, from the Essendon player coming off half-back. They had to maintain possession. Even if they had to go sideways, they didn't have the numbers going forward. Collingwood had that extra player back, so they had to be a lot smarter with their ball use.
Bruce got it right the first time. There's Davis. Goes down towards right half forward. Pendlebury having a good game. Never seems bothered all the time. Goes to Cloak. High ball in. Side bottom will be dangerous here. Almost the mark. Spills in front. Cracker a chance to make amends. Well done by Hardingham. Gets a hand pass away. Ross running out of space. Blair bearing down. And the ball goes out of bounds. Good job.
Ben Reid's day's been very quiet at halfback, and it's because the Bombers have kicked a lot of goals running through 50 and getting deep entries. Just hasn't been able to get involved with that intercept marking that we know he does so well. Best in the comp at it.
Gee, jolly brilliant for Pendlebury to beams and hits the post. What about the handle by Pendlebury there over the shoulder?
How good are they at that stoppage, though, deep in their forward line, where they get that player, Lee, on the outer sort of sphere of the stoppage?
They've had 32 inside 50 entries for 9 goals, so that's pretty good. But Essendon have only had 24 for 11 goals, so that's what's really going to get him the lead, that efficiency up forward.
Gee, well done, Davis. He saw it coming and gives it to Cloak with a big bang. And Beams again having a shot for goal, but that one really wide and out on the forward. Pendlebury, what's he up to, Dennis? He's had a big first half, big second quarter.
16 possessions, Bruce. Naquira. Myers in short, loose ball, confrontation, runs on. Davey, about 5th man in the queue. Carlisle runs to the wing. Bell Chambers, Ross, he's going okay, young Ross. Kicks it down towards half forward. Jetta battles down there with Buckley. They have a stalemate. They stayed off the football. Davis slings it back to goal sack to Buckley. Run down holding the ball, Davey. In his natural habitat, he's better, we've said this before, without the ball. It comes across towards the middle. Cranmery. How is this guy not going to be on a list? He's causing them fits down there, even when he doesn't get the footy.
Yeah, he's certainly their main target, been very strong overhead, but it's got great movement, and then the chase down by Davies, of course, created the turnover, but he is strong overhead, Cranmery.
Cranmery from 52. Gets underneath it. Has it got the carry? Not quite. Right on the goal line defended and punched out of bounds. Hardly the epitaph you want, I suppose. He was a great player when he didn't have the ball, but you know what we mean.
It was perfect the way you've summed him up. He's like lightning. He's so quick to put the tackle in. Zaharakis off the ground, and that hit the behind post. So it's a Collingwood kick in. It's been a good half, hasn't it? It's been
high scoring, hasn't it? I mean, that's why it's been exciting. Collingwood have got themselves back into the game, but just Essendon's ability to kick 11 goals in a half of footy is great effort.
Well, Johnson in about 4 minds there. Kicks the ball out. Watson gets his hands on it. Late goal here would be handy. Zaharakis, Watson, Heppel, late goal. No, hooking behind. Just Tim's gone down below Lee, but Job's first half has been outstanding.
Been outstanding, yeah. The question is he hasn't played much. Can he keep going? Because they are needed there. It's so important for them to get the first hands on the footy.
So Monfries with a long bomb in, and Collingwood will take it back. He's on his way down to talk to Bomber Thompson at half-time, so we'll be in the Essendon rooms at half-time here.
So Buckley, siren about to sound. Who would have thought it, eh? Half-time on a Sunday afternoon. Essendon 11-6-72 over Collingwood 9-6-60. Let's go down to Richo very shortly. Jogging out there, I can see him now. Who would have thought this? The margin was 23 points at quarter time. That man's good at 2. Here's Richo.
Well, Nick, you haven't been in this position a lot of recent times. What do you got to fix up at half-time?
Oh, mate, they were just harder at the ball. They just wanted it more in that first half. Started to get a bit of momentum back in the second quarter there, but they were first in for it, so all credit to them.
Explain your role today. It looks like it's a little bit different.
Yeah, just up on the wing. We've got some set backs. We've got plenty of backs at the moment, so just see if we can develop some other players in other positions. It's not gambling or anything. I've obviously played on a wing before, so I just want to make sure that we see if I'm up to it at the moment.
Good luck for the second half.
Thanks, mate. Cheers.
11-6, 9-6, the underdogs on top. This is just how you would draw it up. Looking forward to the second half. Stick around on a Sunday. This would be a big scalp. Jolly and Bell Chambers. Bell Chambers up very high, won it. Ball. Tried to knock it through the pack. Watson again. Gave it out to Stanton. Kicks it down towards half forward. Crameri. Unkind bounce. Zaharakis can't get away. Kicked it into Hill. Ball comes back from Pendlebury. O'Brien spotted a man out wide. Ball lays it off. Pendlebury cruises past in characteristic fashion. Finds Keefe. Keefe just forward of the wing. Kicks it long inside the forward 50. Knocked away by Ryder. Great first half. In front, Brown. Brown, a sweeping hand pass out wide, taken by Buckley. Goes back, side bottom, taken down. Got a hand pass straight to Dyson. Not his intention. Dyson worked off the line of the football. Comes towards Ryder. In goes Brown. Dyson dives over the footy.
Oh, it's not in the back, it's holding the ball.
You got that down back.
You can tell the umpires, can't you? They're saying, well, if I didn't play the hold in the ball and the ball doesn't come out, it's only a matter of time.
Just wonder if he had control of the ball at any stage. A long kick from Buckley or Brown, and it's two Collingwood players who would have gone through. Brown it was. Just thinking about that holding the ball. I don't think Dyson ever had control of it, but
it's so important, isn't it, this early stage of the third quarter, just to get the right energy levels. And I mean, Essendon was so good in the first half, but can they match Collingwood? We know they're injury depleted as well, and Collingwood are going to throw everything at them in this third quarter.
You think the slower the game, the better for Collingwood, don't you? Because Essendon were able to open them up. That's a good mark by Davis. Jetta was on if he didn't. Out wide, and side bottom. That Collingwood change room would have been interesting at half-time. I know, Tim, you were down in the Bomber one, but just the discussions in Collingwood. Blair goes back. Now Cloak, such a long kick. It's going high. Watson at the back, but Swan will get them. No, he doesn't again. Watson did well, but Swan just not quite programmed. I know he's having a lot of ball, but the program's not quite 100%.
He's had 17 kicks, but about 8 of them have been ineffective, so he's just not that good with ball in hands currently.
Stanton trying to crash his way through. Bell Chambers gets it out somehow. Zaharakis, Monfries back to Zaharakis. Sends it out wide to Hill. Hill all the way back to Howlett. On the defensive 50, not a great kick. Remus ran into a dead end. Stripped of the football by Swan. Comes towards Pendlebury. Buckley off the step. They could be lucky here. Blair had to stand his ground. Cracker taken down. Blair comes again. Still Blair, head down. Taken front on by Stanton.
Ooh, the umpire's looking again. You can see, I look at the umpires when the pack forms like that.
And I know when to stop because I know you're coming.
Well, the stats going in this game is once inside Essendon's defensive 50, they can give up a lot of goals. They're under enormous pressure at the moment.
Swan trying to really impose himself here. Quick kick out. Reema's hands have been good right from the first minute of the match, but he put Zaharakis under the pump. The handballs have been a problem for Essendon today, and Collingwood have got 3 to wax it. Well, in that area, those handballs have cost them big time.
That's a game plan, obviously, though, to try and move the ball from one end of the ground as quickly as you can to the other. But look, I mean, that's a 50-50 handball, that one.
It's also got them their 11 goals.
Yeah.
But it is the risk reward they're playing today.
So we said the early stages would be important. Well, actually, Lee Brown, they're just not quite the black and white machine we've seen this year so far. I mean, they're only a goal and a half behind.
That's the bad Leroy Brown, isn't it?
That's the one. It's had a quiet old match, but plenty of time to rectify that.
Dyson up the middle. Bill Chambers tumbles, couldn't complete the mark. Zaharakis got it out there though. McVeigh, untidy hand pass behind Hill, chopped off by Reed. Pendlebury goes down towards the pocket, and Cracker up he goes, juggles the mark. Oh dear.
Go down.
Zaharakis is hurt.
And again, Essendon were on the march. It was a bad handball from Joe Watson to Hill. Didn't hit its target.
Clearly, this isn't a mark.
No, that's not.
It's been a great pick-up. Premiership team that picks up Cracker and Tarrant. It's a... I don't think the equalisation system's supposed to work like that, is it?
Take a good kick from here, but he's capable. Has to give away the goals, work it back. That's how you do it. Straight through, he's got 3.
Hopefully Richo's keeping an eye on what's happening with David Zaharakis on the bench. So Essendon, the last thing that Essendon can afford is another injury in this third term. As just see Lee Brown, any time there's a little bit of aggro out there on the ground, he's not far from it. But they have just been under enormous pressure in this third quarter, Essendon, and unable to actually move the ball and get it over the halfway mark. And this is the injury. Zaharakis just got his elbow caught under Joe Watson and also Jolly then. Looks like it's been wrenched. I mean, it may have been pulled out of the socket too.
So Cracker with 3 goals. That equals his best in a Magpie Guernsey. Got 3 against the Crows and their comeback win this year. So Melsham's kick blazing forward. Reed got a bad bounce. Bill Chambers used his height to good advantage. And then McVeigh, quick kick on. Watson front spot. Beautifully played though by Goldsack. Davis chasing hard. Buckley under pressure. Out to Beams. Stanton did well. He worried him out of it, but he couldn't control the footy. Jetta got a little touch on it. Beams well played. Pendlebury a little airy and a boundary throw-in. Essendon has led since the 53-second of the match, and Collingwood within 4 points.
That's a bit of a win for the Bombers, though. That had to be a hard out then. They weren't allowed, they didn't want to allow Collingwood to escape easily. Enormous pressure on them.
Jolly swings a boot at that one. Hill left it behind. Melksham in trouble. Needs to be careful now. Lee.
How can he get that out?
I've decided to stop commenting on this.
Lee, how can he get that out?
He can't get it out. But the umpire, as soon as the umpire thinks he's actually dragged it in, if he doesn't get it out, he'll just ping him.
McCaffrey, Johnson, now Pendlebury. Lee, I think you're onto something. Pendlebury's got the ball on the wing, a little short one, finds Cracker. Cracker getting loose now. 3 goals to his name. Takes something off the kick. Cloak. Again, the timely fist from Ryder. Brilliantly done. Runs inside the centre square. Reamer's up on his toes. Beat the first, not the second.
Against you, Simon.
Well, Buckley has been penalised. So an errant arm just swung back and got Reamer's. Ball comes out wide towards half forward for the Bombers. O'Brien. Poor hand pass. Cramry. 52 metres out, Cramry. They need this to bounce, and it does, right on the goal line and through.
He kicks like a mule.
Long way, yeah. Got plenty of... Another goal from out near the 50-metre line. I mean, that must be about 6 or 7. You know, Essendon are playing in a manner that you think's hard to sustain. You're not going to sustain it for a whole season. Maybe they can sustain it for 4 quarters. But their ability to create goals from limited opportunities is just keeping them in front.
He is such an uncomplicated player too, Cramry. I mean, that's his go, picking the ball up and kicking. Great pressure again there from Leroy Jetta. I mean, the last 2 times the ball's gone into their forward line, they've actually been able to apply some pressure to Collingwood's defenders, and we saw that in the first quarter, kicking the goals from actually outside that 50-metre arc.
David Zaharakis is back up from the rooms, left elbow heavily strapped, but looks like he's right to go.
Big bomb forward.
Holding, Paddy Ryder, free kick.
He's worried him, hasn't he? Since early in the first quarter, he's worried him, Cloak, against Ryder.
Except for the sub who hasn't played yet, Cloak's the only Collingwood player not to take a mark today, believe it or not.
He averages about 4 contested marks a game, let alone just general marks.
That's a great kick from him.
Yep. So Ross, and I agree with Dennis, Ross has shown a fair bit today. I mean, he had an initiation to forget for a moment, but he's kept his cool. Heppel running hard from Stanton, and then the little kick. Melsham, a little half volley. Back he goes to Reimers. Reimers, that's a lovely kick. They can open up here. Howlett, Myers off a step. Has he got enough on it? Watson worked underneath it. Goldsack and Watson, a couple of interesting duels there going forward. So Buckley, so I guess they're pushing Watson forward to give him half a breather at times. Reed's kick to centre wing. Held on to for a moment Carlisle. Cloak running hard. Back to Keefe. Keefe off a step. Low ball. Blair will be dangerous here if he can turn McVeigh. McVeigh did really well. Carlisle to Howlett. Sweeps at the Monfries. Monfries, where does he go? Heppel, he ran him into trouble. Heppel got pushed in the back. Play on. Harry kicks it to a vacant. He's taken a mark now. Cloak.
Well, he's 40 metres out, virtually directly in front. Tough day, wonderful season. 45 goals, 2 hauls at the career high 6 back-to-back games. Melbourne and Sydney.
How many times have Essendon turned the ball over at that part of the ground with a handball?
Funny hand pass by Monfries. He knew it was dangerous because he delayed it and still went ahead with it.
He was trying to increase the degree of difficulty. I think
He certainly succeeded in doing that, yeah.
Shouldn't laugh. Cloak not laughing. Terrible kick. His confidence at a low ebb. Thank Paddy Ryder for that. In the pocket. Ryder's got the football, or rather Myers, I think, had it, but the umpire calls for it. So ball up. Close to goal. 10 points the difference. Melksham hurriedly towards the boundary. Leading back, Pendlebury shakes free, got his arms free, tried to get a goal sack. Well done, Stanton. To Hill, delayed the hand pass. In midair was Ross, could have been taken high. No, they'll have a ball up. Well, look at that, the top side.
Yeah. Sorry, Dennis, I was just going to break in there. The interchange, 85 to 67 overall, 12 to 7 this quarter. So it's really starting to tell on the Bombers.
Bombers have had some great victories as a club. If they win today, it will be one of their finest.
Swan belts it forward. Good contest again. Shouldn't forget that Essendon's pulled off the biggest surprise so far this year. They beat Geelong against all the odds at Etihad Stadium. That was singularly the biggest surprise this season. This would be a step up again.
They had their noses in front by a fair bit more at this stage of the game, though, too.
Monfries, Stanton to Hill. And then Hill, well, the handball, he delayed it and put Rakas under pressure. And then Buckley, well, he coughs it up. Ross's handball, Reimers, well played to Davey. Under pressure, Davis to the Davey on Davey. No advantage, free kick to Davis.
Actually got his foot to that one.
They're 2 quick players, aren't they? The 2 Davis.
And then Jolly, this will test Ryder. Did it well, Ryder. Didn't give away a free kick, got back. He is playing some sort of a game. I think he won an Anzac medal about 3 years ago.
He did.
Here's the tackle. Great bit of work here from Leon Davis. Bang.
Wrong bloke chasing.
Just too quick.
Jolly clean possession from the boundary throw in. Keefe swings a boot at it. So did Blair. Neither of them touched it. Coming through side bottom. And he kicks it behind. Yeah, Paddy Ryder did when Hill came down in the first couple of minutes. Ryder thrown on the ball. Everyone said after that game he's a ruckman. Well, after today they'll say he's a defender. He certainly is able to turn his hand to pretty much anything. And what's been generally an awkward season for him. That was an awkward ball. Ross got it from Dyson.
He's looking composed, Ross, hasn't he?
He's been terrific. Melksham, high one, Cramry, fisted away by Reed. Cramry with the balance, with the pace though, Buckley, went to ball, back to Buckley, juggles it, goes to O'Brien. On the move upfield is Keith, he goes in that direction. The judgment though by Carlisle. Carlisle takes the mark, goes to the outer side, well done. Reimers in space, pulls it back in short. Heppel can go by hand. Zaharakis with that bad elbow run down. They took advantage. O'Brien knocked it across to Johnson. Johnson out wide to Beams. Running hard is side bottom. He lays it in front of side bottom, who takes the mark. Left half forward.
Big Swan go.
Swan's on. McVeigh did the right thing. Blair wants. I'll tell you, Goldsack's played a big quarter. That was a great run down a moment ago. That's a good kick. And Fasolo, who's kicked 3 goals, the rookie, has a chance to kick a 4th and put Collingwood within a kick.
That was a great rundown, because here's the rundown. The great pressure from behind. Zaharakis actually saw Crameri. He'd started on the opposite side of the ground, had run into space into the forward pocket, and he was free. Great defensive pressure from Collingwood. We know that's a hallmark of the way they play.
So Fasolo, he's had a wonderful match, and he has kicked 4 goals.
I just wonder about this kid, Lee. This time last year, we're talking about Blair, and he forced his way into the side, and we kept thinking, OK, this kid's going to get forced out of the side, but he kept on performing week in, week out. This kid has now taken a spot in the side, and somebody actually has to knock him out.
Absolutely. I mean, Alan Didak, I guess, is the one who might become available, but he's doing the job.
And Willingham's the other one out of the moment. So
Yep.
Well, they just keep on finding them, Collingwood. 4 goals for Fasolo. Great effort, but down at ground level, you just really feel like it's opening up now and the game's about to break open. This has been a brave performance by Essendon, but it's going to get tougher and tougher being down those rotations.
Well, Chambers decisively down to Howlett, going nowhere. So each year now, the top draft pick from the previous year's draft will wear number 35 for Collingwood. Puts the pressure on. Well, that's actually, I think, policy, isn't it? I think it is.
Prestige.
Well, I don't think because of Prestige.
No, I was pulling your leg.
He got 3 goals. I think Peter Dacos got 549. Next best in that jumper is Fasolo, who's got 8. Ball's out of bounds.
High up on the list. We just saw the inside 50 entries in the 3rd quarter. 12 to Collingwood, 3 to Essendon just at the moment. Now, they're still behind Collingwood, but they're certainly controlling the game.
Jolly. Bullock's there with Bell Chambers. Bell Chambers won the tap. Ball up. Watson, the last man up.
What Essendon are doing here, they're making sure that they actually stay back with numbers. So at the moment behind the ball, Collingwood have 5 on 5 in Essendon's half.
Jolly with the left hand that time for Solo. Upended into the path of Cracker. Runs to 50. Uses his teammate Swan as a decoy, but this kick is offline. Did the hard work. Didn't finish. Minor score. So now Essendon well aware of Collingwood just breathing down their neck. The margin 2 points.
Geez, a great kick. Out to Ryder from Hardingham. They spread well here. Now Monfries, does he take ball on? He slowed down and ball nearly got him, and then he coughs it up. That's poor play.
He had to take the short kick to Davey. Davey actually led forward to him. Davis sagged off the back, and he actually hit Davis with the kick.
So Reid, just undecided, then finds Cracker. They've got 7 goals out of Cracker and Fasolo today. You felt like Cracker needed a big goal-scoring day, didn't he? And he's got it today. Davis's kick. Essendon's lead tenuous at the moment. They have been in front for nearly an hour and a half. Keefe kicks the ball wide. Cloak and Ryder. Gee, he has done a job, Ryder. He'll be the prototype to play on Cloak from tomorrow. Ball in dispute. Blair, legged apparently.
It's just that reach. I know we started talking about it early in this game, but Paddy Ryder can actually give him a couple of steps, Lee, and just gather him in with that reach.
Thanks, Dennis. So it's a Cloak free kick for in the back. Jolly at the back, and Hardingham belts it out.
I like to think of things in footy of times out of 10. I reckon Ryder might beat Cloak 2 out of 10. This happens to be one of those 2.
Yeah.
That's the way I'd look at it. And certainly today he's doing the job.
I mean, you talk about the prototype. I'm not sure there's many Paddy Ryder type players in the competition. And if you haven't got one now, you're not going to get one before the end of the year.
So I just get the feeling this is a bit like Sherman. He's about 5 Ks outside Atlanta, but he's coming. That's not Brisbane Sherman. Well, up towards the wing, off hands, or the Western Bulldogs Sherman. Heppel, Monfries, bundle over the line.
Wow.
Too high, was it?
Yeah. He's done Andrew Walsh there.
Had a good run today, Essendon. There's a left half back to Heppel. Having said that, they've been terrific. Myers goes with the right boot. He's used that a lot today, which is uncharacteristic. To the opposite pocket. This is Hardingham. Hardingham along the line. Ryder just under 7 minutes out from three-quarter time. They're being tested now, the Bombers. High ball towards the wing. Beams in front. Carlisle won't get there in time. Ball up Beams' hands. Good result for the Bombers. Throw in.
That's okay for us, and you're quite right, Dennis. What they need to do now is make sure they regroup, they get the numbers to the contest, they even up the numbers in their own forward line so Collingwood don't have that free-floating player.
Hill gets his hands on it. And then Blair getting busy. Well done by Ball pushing forward. And then Swan. Long ball in. Jolly. Free kick, I think, to Harding.
This one too.
Oh, no, to Collingwood.
This will be interesting, this replay.
So Collingwood are going to hit the front. Jolly wastes no time and puts them in front for the first time today.
I'm sure we'll have a look at that replay shortly, but one thing you know is when Hardingham is against Jolly, you don't just want to make it a reaching contest because Jolly's going to beat you in that one. So I suspect that Hardingham was the one who probably tried to...
Will the deciding factor be, Lee, that he took his eyes off the ball and he wasn't watching the ball in the air? I mean, that's what they've been pretty strong,
that tends
hard
to be
and
the
fast about,
umpire's cue, isn't it? Let's have a look at this.
Well, what's that paid for?
I doubt very much whether you could ping one and not the other.
That is amazing, isn't it? Who's pushed in the end there?
Just saying that they've had a good run. That looked a bit harsh. Brown out of the middle. Well worked again. Side bottom flicked it across to Swan. Swan runs towards goal. Kick is offline. Loose ball. 5 metres out. Off the ground. I think it was Cracker. He's got 4.
Just becoming weight of numbers inside 50 entries. Collingwood have just dominated this third quarter in terms of where the ball game is being played, and eventually they've got the scoreboard running. They've got their 4 goals now, 4 goals, 5 for the quarter, whereas Essendon have just got the solitary goal. So it is just the weight of forward entries.
Overall, too, Lee, 35-24, the clearances now. I mean, the weight of numbers about being able to move the ball from congestion. It's really starting to tell. And I mean, he's a great player, Swan, isn't he? To be able to get on the end of the ball like that too, just working hard to getting an attacking position. Richo?
Yeah, Sinclair has been subbed on, and they've taken the toll off him, Keith. Probably a big call, a good call, because the marking forwards haven't had an influence today anyway.
So the sub for Collingwood comes on. The sub for the Bombers was on very early. Well played, Davis. He's been good. Johnson. So Collingwood with a little breathing space here. That's Swan's 30th disposal. That's the 11th time this year. 6 in a row. He's having another fantastic season. Arizona's done him no harm. Cracker, what a breakout again for him today. First time for Swan. Running hard. Beautifully done. Sinclair quickly into it. Doesn't know exactly what to do. Gives it to Vasolo. Running forward. Back to Sinclair. To Brown. Runs into a dead end. And that is a ball up. Well,
so 50s this quarter, 17-5 Collingwood. That just highlights the difference between these two sides in this third term.
Hill with strength. Brown stood his ground. Spills to Vasolo. Back to Brown. Snaps. Downwards ball forward. It runs on. May have come off the leg of Jolly and gone out of bounds in the pocket. Lee Brown, you spoke about him before, Tim. A little dismissive, I thought, about the anvil. His footy heroes growing up, Simon Madden and Tim Watson. There's Pendlebury. He was an Essendon supporter. Magnificent for Solo. He's got 5, a handful. He's proven more than that this afternoon.
Well, they knew something when they gave him the number 35, and it wasn't for Simon Prestigiacomo. It was followed by the Macedonian marvel Pete Dacos, and He used to thrill the masses at Collingwood with similar goals to that, but he's just got this incredible radar, hasn't he, around the goal?
Broad shoulders, the big, strong-looking upper body, but I mean that was like his goal in the first quarter that went so much from right to left. It just hooked and hooked and hooked and eventually found its way in.
That is a great goal, but how many times have we seen Collingwood in this game find their way to score a goal at a stoppage in their forward line? They go to the inner circle, then they feed the ball to the outer circle.
Well, a remarkable effort by Fasolo. A star is born here today. Stanton's quick forward to a contest. So 3-goal margin all of a sudden. The champs have up the ante. Cramry's been so good, combative, puts Melsham under the pump. Handball has been a difficulty. They put the Bombers under great pressure today. Blair, McVeigh, good contest. Two blokes at very different stages of their career find out a draw. Well done.
Hasn't Collingwood got a thirst now for the contest, though?
They're up now.
This surging football that's become a hallmark of the way they play. They score so heavily. They average 17 goals a game. 2 more than any other side in the competition.
Hill miscues, taken by Brown. In front, Cloak reaching over the top. Ryder stolen away by Blair. Vacant goal square, doesn't go there. Goes looking for Jolly on the bounce. It comes back towards Beams. Great courage by young Ross. Gave it across to Watson, to Carlisle. Carlisle to the outer side. Well, Davis is doing much as he likes on Davey. Davey chases him and will chase him hard, but Davis will kick the ball. And in the end, that's important. Johnson flicks it out wide. Buckley trying to soccer off the ground. Jetta diving in was Monfries. Could have been pushed to the back. No, free kick. Buckley, Monfries, whistle, ball.
Dived over the ball. Didn't dive on the ball. Dive over.
Everywhere you look now, when there's a loose ball, it's a Collingwood player that's getting their first contested possession, 41-23. So they're actually dominating inside and on the outside now.
Goldsack flicks it over the shoulder. Zaharakis taken across the line.
They just get so much from their entire 22. Lachlan Keefe hasn't done much today. He's been subbed off, but every other member of their team, even when Essendon were playing well, they all do their bit.
Jolly. Lee, it's a pretty hard team to get into right now. I think if you're playing, you'd want to play well, wouldn't you?
Well, that's certainly that incentive.
You know, Didak and Willingham waiting to come back in. Thomas waiting to come back in.
History tells you that when you're in the bottom few in a team, it's very stressful if you're not, you know, if your position isn't guaranteed.
How would you know?
Exactly. I've been told.
Watson's kick to Hill. That looked in the back. No free kick. Monfries' handball. Stanton brought down. Good tackle by Johnson. Watson over the ball. And I'm not sure the ball comes out. That's a good play. It means we don't have to have one of those holding the balls. Cramry to Davey to Reimers. They need a goal. Reimers hooks the ball back. It's a behind. That would have gone through in the first quarter.
Yeah, even the bouncers deserted them.
They've had so few opportunities, though, haven't they, in this third quarter? And even then, they're under enormous pressure. Collingwood relentless in this quarter.
First score in 19 minutes for Essendon. Here's Buckley.
They've got plenty of width to work with his team.
Back to Davis. Brilliant bringing the ball in and by foot in that situation. Side bottom. He started brightly. This boy's been terrific for Solo. I think he played about 8 games, league games for East Fremantle in the WAFL. McCaffer. Interesting kick by McCaffer. Made it hard for Cloak. Went down and found it. Ryder sticking to his task. A high ball. Carlisle goes back.
He's been good, that kid, Dennis.
Yep. Something to like about him. McVeigh across the ground. Hill. This is going to be awkward for Hill. Trying to fend off Beams. Didn't work.
With a number of Collingwood players in the vicinity, they'll just take off.
They will take advantage. Blair goes short. Johnson could kick this. Johnson winds up, likes a goal. No. Don't we all, but he misses.
Again, though, that was a really poor kick from Essendon. I mean, kicking to the big guy against a smaller guy, where it was always going to be a battle of speed, and then not having the numbers out there to assist.
To be honest, the only thing he could have done was run straight through Beams. He had to run over the top of him, didn't he? He was put in a pretty tough spot, and Beams corralled him, but he needed to ram him into the ground, basically, with the ball. Swans had a big third term. He had a big first half, to be honest. He just didn't feel like he'd had the impact that he's having in the third quarter in the first half.
Weston hasn't tagged him at all today, and he's only had 32.
But I reckon his 9 since half-time have been better than the 23 before half-time.
He looks like he's worked his way into the game.
There's so much at the footy. He just keeps getting where the ball is going.
See Maxwell shielding the mark and side bottom laying it up to fall forward. Ryder, Cloak, Sinclair off the ground. He's got busy since he's come on and are behind. The only player that broke into the Collingwood team last year was Blair. He was the only debutant for the whole season. They've certainly had a different attitude this year, haven't they? They've been prepared to play a lot of the youngsters, and it's paying off for them, particularly today with Fasolo.
Myers short to the pocket. Dyson kicks a high ball towards the wing. Bill Chambers knocked it down. Watson stripped of the football. Buckley feeds it out. Swan another possession. Johnson, he likes a goal. Does he get one from this side? Yes. At last, Johnson puts it through.
It's when you start admiring the run. I mean, the basic stats tell us that the top 4 teams, and Collingwood in particular, are just so powerful in the second half of games. And they just keep getting there, and we see every contest now, don't we? I reckon the TV screen's like a good guide of how many jumpers you see of each team in the field. And at the moment, you're seeing a lot of Collingwood jumpers wherever the ball is. And that's just the great strength, outnumber the opposition in the contest.
And they punish like no other side in the competition when they turn the ball over. They run hard to defend, and they run just as hard when they find some space on the spread.
13 scoring shots to 2 in this quarter, 6-7 to 1-1. Collingwood lead by 5 goals after Essendon had led this match by 4 goals are in front. Actually, the Essendon were 5 in front in the second quarter.
Even before today, they'd kicked 59 more goals in the second half from their opposition's Collingwood. It's just incredible how powerful they are late in games.
Average score against Collingwood this year is 67.5 points. Essendon have done a good job getting to 79, but it's been slow the last half hour. Not winning the clearances so often now. Watson did well. Stanton. Ross belts it forward. Jetta turns his man in Buckley. Quick kick to a vacant space. Tarrant, Cramry, Davey, Davis. Good bounce. It's a goal. It went all the way. Was it Jessa? I think it was. Yep. He's kicked 3. Talk about long goals today for Essendon.
Well, they've done their best work outside 50 today.
Outside 50.
You look at, just talking about that turnover, Collingwood has scored 489 points this season on the turnover. Twice the number that Geelong has scored, and they're the second place team in the competition. So nobody punishes you like they do once they get control of the ball again.
He's kicked that ball from about right on the centre square. That was in the middle of the ground.
Like it was heading out of bounds, and it's ended up eventually doing the left-hand turn for the goal. But again, they've kicked 13 goals, which is a good effort, but so many of them have to be the long-range, difficult shots.
Equals his career high, 3 goals there. Interesting, we've gone 100 minutes now in this game. Only one man has played the entirety of that. That's Leon Davis. Spent more time on the ground than the Toyota logo. Ball comes back towards the wing. Opportunity there for Zaharakis. Still going strong. Heppel. Melch and Siren. Oh. Well, the timekeeper knew he's not great with the ball in his hands. Alwyn Davey got it. He's run his heart out, putting pressure on. 3/4 time. What a surge. Collingwood 15-13. Essendon 13-7.
They lead by 3 goals in the big game on Sunday afternoon at the MCG. Fasolo with 5 goals, Cracker with 4, and Cloak just the 1 mark, so they've been relying on the little guys today. Hill threw it in the end. Stanton gets a quick kick forward. Monfries did well there, held his ground, belts the ball forward. Tarrant chasing hard, gets a good bounce. McCaffer, Davis has been a magnificent rebounder. Swan, 35 disposals. That's not his best. Reamer's little toe poke, well played. Kicked 2 first-quarter goals. Swan gets hold of him. Reamers did well to Davey. Davey flung around back to Reamers. They need an early goal here to put some pressure on. Swan again, building and building. Again, Swan.
He's got 3.
Yep, from Buckley. He's closing in on 40. Cloak versus Ryder. Fasolo doesn't like to kick it unless he's having a shot. Sinclair's kicked forward, and Carlisle has been very good.
He's read the ball beautifully in the air, Carlisle. That's been a real positive for the Bombers, and they wouldn't have been even playing him had they had their other tools available.
I'll tell you one thing, they've got good back tools. You've got Hooker, Pears, Hurley possibly, Carlisle, Fletcher, and Ryder now. I mean, Essendon have certainly got a wealth of big tool defenders for the future, you would think. Watson, 24 disposals. His first half was memorable. He has slowed a little. Zaharakis, dangerous kick to Heppel. Pendlebury. Heppel fixes his free kick.
Close back there on his own. Ryder taking his time to get back there.
So chop of the arm was the decision. Sort of a late call. Pendlebury goes in Cloak's direction. Can Ryder do it again? No, that's the first one he's been able to get him. Didn't take a run-up Ryder, did he?
No, he tried to, but Cloak sort of looked to engage his body and just...
It's a chop of the arm there from Heppel. I watched Ryder, though, Lee. He actually was right up the field when Pendlebury took that mark. So he took a lot of energy to sprint back to actually get to Cloak, and then obviously just not having enough spring in his leg then.
So Cloak going for his first goal today. That's beautiful. Straightened up, contested mark goal. That's what we expect from him.
That's been one of the matchups of the afternoon. Really arriving at the MCG, we were wondering what the Bombers were going to do in their back half with the tools of Collingwood. We thought that was going to be the pivotal duel this afternoon, but it really hasn't eventuated.
It's going to be a great test for Ryder, though, this last 20 minutes. He's probably just getting a little bit fatigued because the game's in its fourth quarter, and Collingwood are kind of just pushing forward time after time, and it will test his concentration and his endurance.
Wow, look at that. For and against in the last quarter. I mean, they saved their best to last.
Yep. If you're playing for Essendon, look away now. Back in the middle. Hill tries to backhand it down. Stanton. Hardingham goes down towards half forward. Crameri in front, does well again going back on Tarrant. Tarrant equal to it though, punched it down. Pendlebury to Tarrant. Buckley inside to Pendlebury. Hard man to bring down, goes looking for his captain. He compromises. He couldn't win the football. He socketed forward. Now he's got it. Goes to Buckley. Buckley a fumble. Then the spiral inside the forward 50. Ryder third man up. Knocked it down. Now they've got a problem. Swan is through. He's got the cavalry alongside. Goes to young Sinclair. That's terrific. Well done. He could have gone to the veteran, his mate, but he went to the youngster.
You know, I thought he knew exactly what he was doing. Swan, he could have kicked the goal himself. He could have popped it to Clay, but he thought, no, I've got a young teammate. Let's give him an easy goal and try and get a little bit of confidence and just a goal on the score. That's a really good, instantaneous bit of teamwork, I reckon, to give it to the youngster.
That's hitting the contest at top pace, isn't it? I mean, we've seen Cracker do that today. That's just great crumbing, and that's where they've got right on top of the Bombers, their ability to win the contested ball and around the stoppages.
Jolly belts to Sinclair, and then Sinclair lace out. Almost Ryder was brilliant there and Sinclair backs it up, and Ryder again with a tackle. That was a great spoil by Ryder. Cut off by Cloak again. Carlisle out wide to Myers. How much energy in the legs of the Bombers.
Look at the dominance of inside 50s in the second half.
Well, since Essendon led by 5 goals, it's 13-9 to 4-3.
In the second half, here 25 now to 9 in the second half. They just haven't had enough ball going their way. Collingwood's pressure has just been relentless, been outstanding.
So Hill front spot wins a good belt away. Pendlebury searching. Zaharakis with him in the back. So Pendlebury's free kick between centre wing and half forward. Another great game by Pendlebury. Got a wonderful midfield, and Thomas not playing today, of course. A late withdrawal. Cloak brilliantly done. Swan getting better as the game goes on. Oh.
We saw Mark McGrath doing one of those for the Eagles yesterday, and that was magnificent, as Swans was. But the kind of thing, if you talk about it being rare and abnormal, I mean, players quite regularly are able to get that bouncing ball turning right at the last minute.
And the irony, Lee, is that the number 35 in the Collingwood jumper that probably started it all.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
He's up to 39 now, Swan. 10 inside 50s, 16 contested possession. See Pendlebury there. I mean, I've been watching Pendlebury closely since half-time. His ability to work inside and then spread and work both defensively and attackingly as a midfield, he's just in the elite class.
I think Dane Swan's worked out if I just get to the front of Cloak, the ball's going to come short often.
39 possessions now for Swan. His first goal of the afternoon. Had his chances early, didn't take them. He got a ball up.
Thanks, guys.
36 points now. They're up by 6 goals. Could win by 10.
They can blow you away in the blink of an eye, Collingwood.
Yeah. Jolly waits. Hill aggressively takes his frustration out on the foot. He knocks it down towards half forward. Stanton, Heppel, Watson, clever. Great vision. Gave it to Monfries a couple of weeks back. A career high 35. Not today. He's battled hard. Now Hill's got it. And he'll kick a goal from about 35 metres out.
That's the line, Dave. Mark's right here.
121.85. So since quarter time, just 5 goals for Essendon. 14 to Collingwood. Hasn't been a rush. They just kept coming. Now they're getting a hurry on. And Hill misses to the right-hand side. That's disappointing. They deserve better than to get flogged in this one. Who knows? They might fight back and win it, but you wouldn't think so.
93 points is the highest score kicked against Collingwood this year. That was the Swans, 93 points. So Essendon to have 86. It's a good return, but it's just on the other side of the ledger. Johnson's floater, Brown did well. He just belted Hill out of the way. And then down the line, Swan for Solo. To Beams, they're lining up to Ball. Left foot is a good one. Gives Cloak a run. Tapped it back towards Cracker, who's been front and centre all day.
Dane Swan's now on pace to get 50 possessions.
He's had
what's his best?
48 against Port Adelaide, but he's had 3 times over 40. His second best is 41, so he'll at least do that, you'd think, for sure. So 48's his best. So he's but only 3 times over 40. I mean, God. Del Santo last night had, I think, 39, which equalled his high. I mean, that's rarefied air, isn't it?
A lot of ball in hand.
He's on 50 pace. Everywhere he goes, the ball follows him.
And as you've said a few times, Tim, they haven't run a hard tag. One down by Bill Chambers. Stanton taken down by Pendlebury. Ball rolls out of there initially.
Might be a bit late now, Dennis.
I think so. Hallett goes to ground, so the umpire will call it up. 16 contested. That's not bad. Pendlebury. He leads the team with 12 contested over the season on average. He got another one there too to fatten his stats. No. The base of that is Stanton. He dragged it in, Tim.
No.
Just check with Lee.
Lee, can you do something about the interpretation
I don't
of this?
umpire the game, Tim.
Can you do something about it in the off-season?
Johnson. Wow. He understands the significance of these numbers now. He goes to Swan deep in the pocket.
Can we stop penalising the bloke who's got the courage to go and win the ball?
Tim. I agree with you, Tim. I'm on your side.
Get over it, Tim.
We'll fix it, Lee, for goodness sake.
I'm on record.
You got one thing to do this off-season.
I'm on record at the Gabba as saying I don't understand the rules, so I've got nothing to lose in this conversation. Swan misses to the near side.
Okay, here he is. Look, the bloke that should be penalised is a Collingwood player on top.
Who's holding it in.
Who's got no intention other than to hold the ball underneath the player. He's the one that's actually stopping the ball from flowing.
Gee, I don't want to have dinner at the Watsons tonight, do you?
Yeah, I don't think so.
Look, it's not an Essendon thing. It's just, it frustrates the hell out of me week in, week out.
I think as long as you're protecting the first guy at the footy, but there's been a few played this weekend that have been very dicey in terms of not protecting the ball player.
Geez, good kick, Buckley. Look at that going and just missing. He might be the longest kick that's ever played in the name of Buckley for Collingwood. No, Nathan could kick a long, long ball, couldn't he? No, look, Tim, I think we all agree with you. It's wrong, but...
That's it, no more.
Yeah, it's not Essendon, it's just grumpiness, that's all.
He's got to get up early in the morning and work on radio. Hill, well done by Jolly. Monfries to Watson to Hill. Back to Zaharakis to Melsham. Still with Melsham. Gee, played that well, Melsham. He played it really well. Bell Chambers in the back, should have got a free. Not coming, and a ball up now.
That was a bit of globetrotter work there from Melsham, wasn't it?
Yeah, he did well. He did
Saw
really
plenty
well.
of this down at Geelong yesterday. My word, did they throw the ball around like the Harlem Globetrotters.
Steve Johnson, I mean, that was a highlights package for his career in one afternoon, wasn't it?
Of Melbourne, the Washington Generals. Oh, terrific going back, O'Brien. Cranmery, don't often see that. He's hurt. He's winged. O'Brien on the wing, drives it towards the outer side. Fasolo called out of it, did the right thing, let it run to side bottom. Cracker's on the burst, running to space, side bottom, puts it out wide. Cracker's got it, Cloak is back. Poor old Ryder, one out. Cloak goes back to the square. Cracker needs to get it down there. Cloak has given his 4th lead. It's the worst of the lot.
He had a lot of time to think about it, Cracker.
Oh, didn't he?
And poor old Paddy Ryder, he was playing about 5 metres in front of Cloak. But when the player upfield has got that much time, you can just, that's a fantastic mark. You can just keep adjusting your lead till eventually you find the space for him to kick to.
Poor old Paddy, eh? There he is on the mark. He's trailing up behind Cloak. It's been like a second coat of paint today. But even he's conceding goals now. Cloak second.
They just look tired now, the Bombers.
Oh, yeah.
The game's opened right up for Collingwood, and just watching the Essendon players, they just couldn't move in transition then. They had to get back in numbers. You rely on your midfielders and your wingmen actually getting back and filling those holes, and there was just no one coming back to protect their backline then from Essendon.
Well, if you look at this scoreline, you say, yeah, that's what we expected, but it's been a strange journey to get to this point, hasn't it? A thrilling journey at times. There's some big news about Melbourne I'll tell you about in a moment.
Oh.
19-15 to 13-8. So Jolly over the top of Hill. Jolly's handball forward. Pendlebury. Oh, geez, good Pendlebury. Oh, we knew that anyway. Swan, so he's closing.
Don't tag Swan. Who do you tag, Swan or Pendlebury?
And now Cloak getting heavily involved.
It's too hard to time the Collingwood players because they swap on and off the field so often. The tagger just, you need to tag about 22 of them.
Brown will get it. No, doesn't. Carlisle did well. Blair coming in. Carlisle played it really well. Stanton should have got a free. Pendlebury might have a shot. He does. Oh. It's a goal. Another one.
They're going to win by 10, aren't they?
Oh, they are. I tell you what, on grand final day, whoever's against them will want to be 4 in front at 3/4 time.
Yeah. Well, not only that, I mean, Keith, they've substituted a big guy for a little guy, so Keith for Sinclair. That gives them more run. Essendon have got a 2-man down, so they've been rotating 20, and Collingwood finished stronger anyway in a normal game, so it's been a bit of mission impossible today for Essendon.
He's up to 29 now, Pendlebury. 22 of those have been contested. He hasn't had a great day, Lee Brown, but I mean, Carlisle's been really good, unable to clear the ball again. And this bloke, we talked about his work rate, just exceptional.
Margin 49 points then, but Bruce has got the big story and he's not saying at the moment. Ball goes after it. On his knees, Watson. What a great comeback it's been. Ball up. OK, Bruce.
Well, Don McClarty and Jim Steins have just left Jim's house. They're going to a board meeting as we speak to discuss the futures of Cameron Swab, Dean Bailey and Chris Connolly. So unravelling now at Melbourne. A board meeting taking place. All on 7 News tonight, the latest.
That's a wide room. Yeah. As the ball goes down towards full forward. Going back is Reid takes the mark.
Were they the worst defenders yesterday, were they, those three?
There's Johnson. Takes something off the kick. Well done, young fellow. Sinclair.
Gee, Lee's got his phone on vibrator too. I just felt it. Gee.
Sinclair kicks it up towards the wing. In from the side, Hardingham gets a fist on it and puts it out of bounds.
Dennis, last time they won 10 straight, 1965. Bob Rose was coaching. So Collingwood have not won 10 straight since 1965. And that's what they'll do here today.
I think Ed was about 10 months old Always send him a card, so I know his birthday. Hand pass comes across from Blair over the football. Jolly taken high, he'll get the free kick. So Collingwood doing as Collingwood do. Interesting, we saw Michael Malthouse. I mentioned his 54th game against Essendon this afternoon. It will be his 25th win. 5 at Footscray, 9 at the West Coast Eagles, 9 of 19, and 10 of 24 now at Collingwood. The old foe have had the edge on the master coach, but of course Essendon had their own master coach for a lot of that time. There's the kick from Blair out of bounds on the foot.
And they're always big occasions, aren't they, Dennis? I mean,
yep.
Like today, but the first 3 quarters today were thrilling. Collingwood, a magnificent team. They must be so much fun to barrack for at the moment.
Yeah, wouldn't you?
33 games since sort of halfway through last year for 2 losses. And they were both by 3 points. Ross has been good. He came on early, he got caught holding the ball, but he stood up pretty well. Davey and Davis. Davis has had the better of that. Joel Watson's first half magnificent. Cranberry okay today again. And then Stanton, Hill. Now Davey would like this situation. Well played. Over the top. And Essendon are going to get the goal. They get to 92 points. Remus gets his 3rd. I wonder if they can get 100. No one's got 100 against Collingwood this year. It's asking a lot, I know, but another goal and a bit, that would be something at least, wouldn't it?
Lee, have you noticed anything in the way that Essendon have gone about their business today that any other side might use in the finals? I mean, everyone's looking at them, seeing whether or not there's something that you can actually identify as an area to work on.
I think today what Essendon showed the rest of the competition, if you can kick a lot of goals from outside 50, you've got a chance of scoring against Collingwood, because that really has been the strength of their game today.
His arm down.
Bill Chambers gets a free kick. Just get the feeling they found a couple of players anyway to Bombers, like Jake Carlisle as the ball comes out wide. Montfrey stretches.
Play on!
Played as a key defender today, Carlisle. Watson. Jetta goes down towards the pocket, reaching over the top. Davey and Davis, and that came off the boot, unfortunately for Davey. Out of bounds on the full. He's had a breather now early in this term too, Leon.
Is he?
Yeah, he's played 115 of 118.
He's super confident, isn't he? You can just tell when the ball's near him, he just believes that he's going to be able to outposition his direct opponent.
I think he likes that matchup, if I'm any judge. The ball to half forward from Fasolo. Missed by Pendlebury. Bit stiff not to get a free kick. Ross again in the action. Heppel comes out wide. Jetta on the wing. Comes to Stanton. Stanton forward of the wing. Goes inside. Watson once more. Coming up for possession 27. That's a clever, well, almost a clever kick. It was intended for Howlett. Just needed Howlett to create a bit more of his own space there. Getting back, the mark was taken by Ball. And across to side bottom.
Side bottom wide. Swan, who's had the 2nd most disposals he's ever had in his career. So that crowd, 73,000. Do you believe it? They've had, I think, 26 times these two teams have had over 70,000 to watch each other.
Yeah.
So they're just magnificent crowd pullers, and to play for Collingwood at the MCG these days is such a treat, because you know there's going to be a massive crowd whoever they're playing. Even better against someone like the Bombers. Reid going forward, belting the ball forward. Jetta, well, he had to go hard, and Jolly gave him one, and Pendlebury will kick it. He's got 3.
She runs hard, this bloke, Pendlebury.
Just keeps getting there, doesn't he?
His work rate is just enormous.
I wonder who gets the votes today. I mean, you've got Swan and Pendlebury.
Yeah.
There wouldn't be much between them, would there?
Well, that Leroy Jetta and Darren Jolly. Darren Jolly probably be 110 kilos, and Leroy Jetta's about 80. That was a lot of body crashing into little Leroy, but another good goal to Pendlebury.
Scott Pendlebury, 3 goals, and the other time he's done that, Anzac Day. this season. Up ahead for Collingwood. So the games remaining this season. Swan, you can see him right of screen there. On 42 possessions. Zaharakis, though, the new breed, comes away with the foot. He goes down towards half-forward. Goldsack just camped in behind the front two. Takes the mark. Swan is breaking. He'll get it now. Swan's got it. Swan, not paltry, 43. On the outer side, Maxwell. Short to side bottom. Maxwell runs on. Reid has it now. Cloak and Ryder. Well, he wasn't going any more spoiling. He was going to take a mark. It got personal there. It was a good grab too. Ross putting himself about. Comes to Stanton.
Well, good stuff. And Stanton, well, he looked up and I don't think he saw McCaffer there and kicked it straight to him. McCaffer on to Beams. Hasn't really imposed himself, either of those two today. Beams' long ball in. Brown, good grab, Leroy.
Oh. You're a man, Timmy. You were the inspiration for his career. What a hero, he said.
Well, he's a good hayfield boy.
You gave him short shrift earlier in the day.
No, I'd never give him short shrift.
It
hasn't been a great day for him.
No, but what a good job he's done for Collingwood in the last 2 or 3 seasons, eh?
Oh,
he's a very valuable member of this team, and he kicks his first, and Collingwood get 22 for the day.
Well, they hang around there, as we know, for half a game. Essendon kicking 11 goals in the first half. But gee, since half-time, Collingwood have just been outstanding. Kicked 13 goals, just looks so strong. Everyone's joining the party now, players who weren't necessarily part of it early.
And their goal spread, Lee, is so good. 12 goal kickers again today.
That's what you always love to see.
They've only got one bloke in the top 35 for goal scoring, and that's Cloak in the competition. Well, Essendon, I guess we expected coming here today they're going to lose this game. That's a really important game for them next week against Sydney. The 3 games that they will need to win will be the Sydney game, the Bulldogs game, and the Port game to probably ensure that they play in the finals this year.
Rucks go at it. Brown was up. Ball's got it. Tries to flick it back to Brown. Down goes Beams. Feeds it out to Cracker, who's away. 60 metres out. Cracker. Kick favours Jolly. Blocks his man. Takes the mark. So the margin currently at 56 points. This will push it over 10 goals. Now, if ever a team didn't deserve to lose by 10 goals, it's Essendon this afternoon. They have tried. They've been hit by injuries. Played some brilliant football, but in the end, it stands for naught.
They've had a couple of bad second halves, and you had in last week's against Carlton when they were down about 12.
Jolly comes in. What a footballer he's been. Puts it through. And game number 200. Shares a moment with the crowd.
That's rubbing it in, isn't it?
Drifted into the forward line. A bit of height in there. He's a valuable player, Jolly, because he can go forward and stand under the ball in the goal square. Got a couple today, always dangerous.
Coming into this game, Collingwood average 62 inside 50s. They're at 68 now, 68 to the Bombers 42. So there's been plenty of supply down that end of the ground.
A massive second half. McCaffer caught up. So last week Carlton kicked 15 goals to 4 after half-time. Today it's 14 to 3, but you feel like they've got a little bit of an excuse today. They're playing a great team, and they have been a couple of men down. Ross has kicked forward and cut off. Just quickly, Tarrant, Lee and Tim out wide. These names: Dawes, Didac, Shaw, Thomas, Tuvey, Willingham. You think they're all certainties, wouldn't you, to get in the team?
Close enough.
So half a dozen still to come back in.
Not sure if they make them any better, Bruce, because the runs out there are just about as good.
So Cracker to Sinclair, just the miss, back to Cracker, drop the ball down, milks the free kick, doesn't get it this time. Carlisle fights hard. Well, the Heath Shaw one's going to be the most intriguing.
Heath Shaw is clearly part of their best setup, and how good he could come off his 2 months break.
Didac.
Hasn't been injured, hasn't played for a while.
Tuvey gets back in, you'd think. Wellingham probably. So it'll be fascinating to see how they settle on their team late in the year.
I think talking with Nick the other night, didn't he say Didak in a week? That was from this week. So next week we're assuming that deadly half forward will be back. McVeigh, Hardingham surely holding the ball. So Blair gets the free kick. Blair 55 metres out. Goes towards the pocket. Cracker. So he's kicked 4 goals, Cracker.
They hold that outside space really well, Collingwood. When there's a set kick, you'll always find that while it's a bit of an angle to kick from, they will never occupy that space out wide. Because even if the lead is not marked, all the ball basically runs out of bounds. So there's no chance of the opposition rebounding from there.
I think this bloke's almost been given a rocket before the game today. I mean, he's played at a really high level, even early in the game, Cracker.
Kick is on the way. Bending back, not enough. Off hands, live ball for Solo. Still, well, it's a behind.
And Mick's got that to be able to throw at the players too. He'd go through that same list that you've just gone through there, Bruce, and said, OK, well, all these blokes, I've got to fit them in somehow by the end of the year. I mean, if you take the foot off the pedal, you might be the bloke that misses out. A lot of Crackers played like that today.
Yeah. One thing you feel for sure, that Dawes with Cloak is the best combination, isn't it? So Dawes will definitely, you feel, be back in as well.
Yeah. Well, he takes his spot back in the side, and then you've got those other mid-sized players who are going to be fighting for that last spot there, or those last couple of spots.
Blokes like Didak and Wellingham.
I mean, there's real pressure on Blair to make sure that he holds his place in the side too, with Fasala bobbing up the way that he has today.
So Cranberry's long ball in. O'Brien takes a juggle. We haven't seen a lot of running bounces for Collingwood today. We haven't seen that real run-off half-back that you normally get. So Essendon have been able to hold that up a bit. Pendlebury out wide. Gee, Lee, I'd be interested to see your top 4. I mean, which way have you gone? Have you been able to separate a Swan and a Pendlebury? Down the line it goes. Oh, right, a huge fly. And Sinclair still in. Kicks the ball to half-forward. And the mark dropped in the end. Hardingham has to get it out. Blair just robs him. Must have heard you a moment ago, Tim. Kicks the ball to full forward. Cracker outnumbered. Davis can smell a goal. Here he goes. No, he does the team thing and drills it. And Cloak will kick a third, you think.
Yeah, it's party time for Collingwood. I mean, they're just looking so much more energetic, so much more run. They're just getting, as the second half's gone on, they just keep getting that extra Collingwood player to the ball of the footy.
Even when they smash sides, Collingwood, they are a really entertaining side to watch.
They play well. They're wonderful too.
So Cloak with 47 goals for the season. He's kicked 2 in the last quarter. He's kicked 3 in the last quarter.
Well, he's going to come away from this game. If you just looked at the stats and nothing and didn't watch the game, you'd look and you'd see that he's had 17 possessions, 5 marks, 6 inside 50s, 10 contested possessions. He's kicked 3 goals. Now you'd say, well, you know, for a key forward, he's had a pretty tidy sort of a day.
Can't exactly say he's been a non-contributor. He's still done his bit, even though Ryder has stopped him from being outstanding in the earlier part of the game.
And they just do the right thing, don't they, at the right time, Collingwood players.
Top 4. I'm not sure whether Pendlebury's even been better than Swan, but the two of them, Swan weighted numbers. Pendlebury's just seemed so classy. Leon Davis is just so good out of the back half, and for Solo, you kick 5 goals, I think you deserve a mention in the top 4.
What are the odds of 4 Magpies being the best 4 on the ground at half-time when they trail by 12 points? Amazing. But spot on.
Doesn't that say a lot about this team, though, the greatness of this team?
Plenty of others you would have considered to be in that 4-2, isn't it?
Yeah, that's right. I mean,
really even.
Such a team effort.
Look at Brownie's back in there, bullocking. Still going. Hill. Ball comes out. Sinclair's over it. Blair going nowhere. Feeds it back. Taken away by Beam. Slips a hand pass across. Johnson goes with the right boot down towards the forward pocket. Carlisle did pretty well. Kept coming. Heppel did well as well. Coming back with the flight of it.
The Collingwood fans, Dennis, are onto the fact that Swan's almost up to 52. He's got 45 now. Not sure he's going to be able to get another 5 in the last 50 seconds, though.
No. Hard to do. Williams goes in and kicks a goal. The rout continues.
Well, we've been talking all day, Tim, about how good they are at those forward stoppages. How often do they just seem to get a player on the movement through the stoppage? You know, they're obviously so well coordinated. Who's working in tight? Who's trying to just keep their width a little bit, keep a little bit of run into space through the contest. Gee, they kicked a lot of goals from there.
First time in the history of humans, too. They kicked 10 goals in the last quarter against the Bombers, Collingwood. They played a lot of footy, these two teams.
That is
down at 39 seconds.
Amazing scoreboard, isn't it, Dennis? When you, I mean, they were down by 2 goals at half-time, even though they looked like they're on a bit of a roll before half-time, and we knew that Essendon had some injury troubles. It's been an awesome second half.
One down by Hill. Brown beaten again. Cross half forward, Bill Chambers to Howlett. Just pops it up. Running back is Monfries. Nice work, Monfries. Inside Howlett. Ran into a dead end. Taken down. Pendlebury to Johnson. Along the line. Stretching Sinclair. Falls in front Stanton. Dying seconds of the game. Zaharakis. Myers. Nobody at home except Goldsack.
Essendon have popped a couple of spare back to try and limit the damage, so there's no one in their forward line much.
That's a heck of a kick, but Hill gets back to mark it. Davis grounded. There's the siren. What a transformation in the second half. Collingwood 25-16, 166. Essendon 14-8-92. Put that in context. The margin 23 at quarter time, 12 at half time Essendon's way. They lose by 74. Remarkable day at the MCG. How about that? A game of 2 halves, certainly, but late in the second quarter, Collingwood, we knew they were coming. Cloak finishes with 3 goals. No justice for Paddy Ryder. Let's go down to Richo.
Alex, hard fought 12-goal win. It sounds silly, but they really gave it to you early in this game.
Yeah, Essendon are the real deal, you know. They first half footy probably shows that, you know, they want to go in September kind of thing. So, but team came good in the second half, so no, it was a good win, great win.
Mate, shades of Dacos, 5 goals today, the same number.
Yeah, not even close to Dacos yet, but nah, look, I love to contribute on this, you know, trying to hold my position week in, week out, because it's a pretty strong 22. But no, the team was really good today, so.
And that's the big thing, mate, in that you come into this team and you've got to perform because you've got so many players that can come back in. Do you feel that pressure?
Yeah, well, I think you need that pressure to be a good football team. I mean, you know, we obviously got Didak, you know, Sharrod, we come into the team, you know, like they're going to be playing for my spot, so I'm just trying to play the best footy I can.
Well done, mate.
Cheers, thanks a lot. Cheers, guys.